This is session 58. So we've been playing this game for a while. Not as long as some, but longer than a lot. Let's see. Last session, for anybody who wasn't here or anybody who was, basically the party descended from the bottom of the grand stairwell of the tomb into the central space where Yaza, Will Ross, and most of the NPCs are right now. This, just to kind of give the description again for those who weren't here, the interior of this pentagonal chamber is filled with a pungent stench. The walls are covered with sheets of iron, and there's a wild garden full of sickly plants and rotting compost taking up most of the interior. There's also a rusted sprinkler jutting about 6 feet up from the ground in the middle. There are 2 exits, one to the southwest and one to the mostly west. Last session, the party headed down the southern hallway and found a mildly concealed door that leads to the servants' stairwell, or the staff stairwell. That has basically a pathway or a stairwell going up and a doorway into what you assume is the large chamber that is the center of this floor. In the long hallway where Qhelec and Sebastian are standing, there was a stone gargoyle. After breaking apart one of its fists, a wall on the west side of the chamber split open, revealing a giant stone juggernaut that Qhelec then managed to stun with an arrow, and between Qhelec and Sebastian, they broke it into tiny little pieces. I think where we ended up, there was a large fist-sized ruby lying on the floor in the space where the large stone juggernaut had been, quote, hiding, and I think that's about where we're at. Questions, comments, concerns?
No.
Cool. Then the tomb is yours.
Where's Yaza?
Yaza should be kind of in the middle of the map.
Oh, yeah.
Can you unpause the game too?
It is not paused, but I paused it and unpaused it to see if that does it.
It is now not paused.
Weird. Oh, wait, you mean you want to move around?
Sometimes.
I get an error when I try to move. It says the key, and that gives me a long string of letters. And it says does not exist in the embedded collection.
I might just try reloading. Whoa. How did Keshma move?
Because I can control her.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So why is the big stone lady moving? Why?
Why?
I specifically said she's too big to fit through most doors. Stop it! I think it's also, for anybody who wasn't here, as you guys pass through the doorways in this pentagonal room, it is obvious that there is a very large stone chamber with what appears to be water sloshing below it in the down below. There are some bioluminescent somethings in that water. And there is also, for some of you, a childlike voice that has been reaching out and speaking to some of you individually, and I think some of you as the entire group at various points. Oh, Teresa's also starting to grow hair all over her body.
Do I still have the... What is the thing called that plays with my hair again?
The chingwa? Yes.
Yeah, do I still have my chingwa?
The Chingwa is still just basically has become like your silent parrot friend.
She said, "Perfect. I love it."
Qhelec, you're poking around?
Yeah, is that a wall?
Not anymore. It used to be, but it slid back and released the stone juggernaut. The fist-sized ruby is lying on the floor of the room, or the space to the west.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna walk right up to it. I'm assuming it's that little orange dot right there.
No, that's a torch.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pick up the ruby.
Sure.
And you explode, is what I'm expecting.
And you die. So this is a fist-sized ruby. Ew. That's awful. It has... I mean, really, there's no description of it? Thanks, guys. So this... It's a fist-sized ruby with a nice faceted top. The back end of it is actually an extremely long, pointed... and it almost looks like it could do some damage if you hit somebody with it. On the top of the top facing, there is an intricately etched eye. And I think you may recall that the group that you had chased here, the Yellow Banner Company, had left in one of their notes that they were searching for the Eye of Zaltec, and while you have no way to corroborate that this is the Eye of Zaltec, this sure seems more like a fabled treasure with an eyeball on it than anything else you have seen in the tomb so far.
Is there any kind of check I can do to see if I remember anything specifically about the Eye of Zoltek?
You could probably do a history check to see if you know...
I don't know anything. Moving on.
Would, with my archaeology background, would I be aware of Zaltec as well?
Yeah, I think you would know. I guess, do you want to make a history check, or just let me decide what you know?
Yeah, I can do a history check.
Okay, so Qhelec, for perception, there's a secret door. Actually, there's not a secret door, there's just a crawlway where you're standing. Let me see if the walls actually... oh yeah, you can see it. There's a crawlway there. There's a secret door somewhere else. I am unsecreting it. If you... oh, yeah, I'm just going to draw a wall right in the middle. Yeah, that's helpful. I added a doorway there. It's the backside of the crawlway.
So that was the sneaky way to get in behind the...
That was the sneaky way, but everybody went in the other direction. The diversion worked. Will Ross, you recall the cult of Zaltec was part of the Maztecan Empire, and rumor has it that the legends have it that the Eye of Zaltec was a gem or knife that was used to sacrifice humans during various ceremonies. So this ruby was probably used to send quite a few people to the life beyond, and is also probably very, very valuable if you can find the right market to sell it.
All right, cool. Well, Qhelec's gonna put that into his pack, and wander off with it because he doesn't give things to people. So, moving on.
It's so nice.
I'm gonna go down whatever this hallway is and see what's over here.
That's the back stairwell.
Sorry, what are these zombie tokens in between Gibbles and Teresa?
That
They
would be Teresa zombies.
Yes, those are her zombies.
She is a not out necromancer. She's in the closet.
Gotcha.
I mean,
She's having difficulty coming to terms with it.
no, she's very happily a necromancer. I'm just gonna move her zombies and her into the central area. And I'll dump Xanthiel there too. Hey, you opened that door.
And walk through it.
And walked through it. So Qhelec, you're down there. I guess, what is everybody else doing right now? Just so I know where people are and what they are doing.
Oh, so this stairway is the one that you said everybody thinks looks like it's going down?
But it goes up. The spiral staircase goes up, yes.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it's going down to me too.
Yeah. Will Ross, are you hanging out in the center cog, or are you following?
I'll go into the corridor and kind of just follow behind.
Cool. I'm just trying to...
Go to Yaza.
I'm just trying to keep tabs on where everybody is, just so if stuff happens, I know where people are. I think the rest of these people will stay there. And you guys can kind of, I guess one of you, if you're at the where the gear meets the hallway here, kind of this space. Why isn't ping working? There we go. So, okay, a couple of things to describe. Anybody who is crossing that kind of threshold, there is just enough space that you can see Qhelec on the dock below, assuming you have dark vision. Qhelec, you're down on this dock. Let me get the description. So there are a couple of features about this area that I'll just describe in no particular order. There are two boats lashed to the dock that you are standing on, a short stairwell that leads down to a rickety wooden dock. You can see carved into the prow of each of these rowboats, one says Predator and one says Prey. In the water below you, so first off, there's kind of spots of this water that have an oily sheen that kind of ripples across it, almost as if somebody had poured oil on top of the water in various places. And then the water itself looks like it's probably about 20 feet deep or so. You can see luminescent crabs scuttling around on the rocks at the bottom of this water. And there is a diving cage on a winch on the north side of the dock. The cavern itself extends about probably 40 to 50 feet tall, almost all around. You can see where Will Ross is kind of watching you from the door to the structure he's standing in. That pentagonal room is on top of a giant gear that drops down into the water below, and you can see directly north of you another gear that interlocks and appears to have another pentagonal chamber on the top of that gear. And I think that's about everything you can make out here.
Are the pentagonal chambers like just 6-foot walls on top of it, or like is it a chamber that goes all the way to the roof, or is it basically like open ceiling, closed ceiling?
So from when you were in the room, basically, I don't care where you are, I'm just going to try and kind of explain it. So basically the roofs of these, the ceiling of these rooms is also the ceiling of the cave, but they are not, there's just enough clearance that the rooms on top of these giant gears can rotate. But the ceilings themselves of these rooms do not rotate. But the clearance here is functionally no clearance. Like just...
Okay. But the walls rotate, but the ceiling does not.
Correct.
Okay.
And the outside of these gears is built such, and the way the gears connect to each other, with the weird hallways coming off of them, there's enough space for a normal, medium-sized humanoid to squeeze through with some difficulty, and then it looks like you could probably crawl around on these gears or jump into the water. You can also make out, kind of at the edge of your vision, it looks like one or two tomb dwarves are hanging from the ceiling and either, fixing the wall or working on part of the cavern wall, doing, for all intents and purposes, it kind of looks like a maintenance crew, just kind of working away. They completely ignore you, if they're even aware of you.
You said they're tomb dwarves?
Yes.
Okay, so those walls, are they just like flat stone?
They're iron.
Okay, well, I'm gonna fly over to the outside of that and stick myself to it.
Okay.
I'm gonna just be walking along like sideways on it.
Yep. Did you close that door or just move yourself?
I just moved myself.
Okay. You have a better vantage point of everything I've already described. At this point.
So, this gap right here,
Yeah.
is this hole open to this hallway?
Let's say sure. That's where there's like a foot and a half of clearance where you can get through, but nobody's going to be able to do it making a stealth check. Basically, if you want to squeeze through the gap, you can. I'm not going to stop you from doing it, but it is not easy or straightforward to do so.
Okay. I'm gonna just like go around here and stick myself to this side as well.
From there, mostly what you're seeing is just more natural cavern. And as you kind of come around the edge, there's a third of these gear shapes off to the east. You can also...
Am I seeing any other weird stuff like in the cavern, like on the walls or in the water or anything?
So there's bioluminescent crabs kind of littering the bottom of this chamber. You can see and you're starting to hear the sound of a waterfall off to the northeast, and you can just kind of see from the way the water is rippling and flowing that it's kind of coming in from the northeast. There are the puddles of oil or mucus or something in patches on top of the water. Every so often you think you see a shape moving in the water, but you noticeably are never able to pin it down. It's always happening at the edge of your vision. To the point that you're not even sure if it's real or not. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Dark underground lake opens up before you, its ceiling festooned with chains and gears, some of which appear to have dwarves dangling from them. A gigantic motionless stone cog rises from the water with two matching cogs connected. Rusty metal conduits stretch from the cavern walls to the cogs. The water of the lake is slimy with pinpricks of phosphorescent light twinkling in the murk. Yeah. That's the official description.
By the way, does this count as Underdark?
In terms of favored terrain?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? We're underground and it's dark. I will say this room, the cavern itself, counts as Underdark, but not anything else.
Okay, so there's, just so you know, like what the bonuses I get for that are. So wherever it's considered Underdark, which would be this room, I guess, difficult terrain doesn't slow the group's travel. Your group can't become lost except by magical means. Even when you are engaged in another activity while traveling, such as foraging, navigating, or tracking, you remain alert to danger. So basically, I can always be alert to danger. I can't be surprised. If you are traveling alone, you can move stealthily at a normal pace. When you forage, you find twice as much food as you normally would, and when tracking other creatures, you learn their exact number, their sizes, and how long ago they passed through the area.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I think so cool. Noted. Yeah. I'm just thinking. Yeah, I think I'm good. There's a ton of phosphorescent crabs all over this place, but you already knew that. And you already know what tomb dwarves are, so I think as far as anything to do with that set of class features, I think that doesn't change anything at this point.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure. That's all.
So Qhelec, while you're crawling around, Yaza, Will Ross, you guys doing anything? Qhelec has disappeared from your view.
Just kind of hanging back for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep moving.
Okay, where are you gonna head, Yaza?
Just gonna keep kind of walking down this corridor.
So this corridor is the pathway where they fought the stone juggernaut, or the corridor at the end of that corridor, basically. Yeah. So basically last week that got fully explored, if that makes any sense. The other potential pathway to go look at outside of what Qhelec is doing is the other exit from that central gear or cog.
Can you talk for a minute? We're trying to mess with our headphones.
And Volo bursts into the room and says, "Hi all, did you find my copy of Volo's Guide to Monsters?"
Okay, we're good.
Oh, okay. So did you catch all of that I was saying, Yaza?
Mostly, yeah, but he had to do it right as I was talking. I don't know why this had to happen right then and there.
Because I'm the one that's having to push the button the whole time.
Okay, anyways, so, yeah, I just kind of wanted to go down here, see if I could see anything else. So you're saying we would have walked through this corridor?
Yeah, basically the corridor heading south, the kind of checkerboard long hallway beyond. That is where the stone juggernaut and the giant ruby were. And then here we go. I'll just do this. Pew! This is where they fought the stone juggernaut. Sebastian is still standing down there because he's not here. And then this hallway here is what leads to the back stairwell, and the door to the dock that I described for Qhelec is there. I think you were by the exit, so I figure you could have seen him fly from the dock up to the gear. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to go check out the whole area where I saw Qhelec go then. I wasn't sure if I saw Qhelec or not.
I mean, you could definitely hear him, like, flapping around, and you guys would have seen him wedge himself through the doorway here. Because he basically had to, like... Well, it looked like he went through it, so I'm going to say for some reason Qhelec just wedged himself through it just to be as awkward as possible.
I also would have, as I was going through, distinctly just bird blinked at them and kept moving without saying anything.
the teamest of players. So I guess wherever you want to end up, Yaza, or if there's anything in particular you want to do, let me know.
I just want to keep moving. I mean, I don't know if he went down this or not, right, to the dock.
I went onto the dock and then flew off of it. I didn't mess with the diving cage and I didn't mess with the boats. The boats said predator and prey.
I don't think Yaza would know all that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Yaza's...
Yeah. Replay all the descriptions I gave, unless I need to give them again.
Okay. No, she's just gonna step out, like one step out here. Kind of test it, see how it is.
The stone steps are old, and the dock creaks as you test some weight on it, but it does not seem to be in danger of collapsing. It's just old.
Okay. Yeah, because I figured even if Qhelec did go over here, he did not. He flew or did something else. Yeah, I kind of want to peek over to like what the diving cage. Is there anything in it? I think you said there wasn't, right?
Yeah, so the cage itself, it has a door. Basically, you could climb in, and if somebody operates the winch, it looks like you could very easily raise or lower the diving cage.
Oh, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go get somebody and I want to do this. So, because I was like, I won't go anymore. I was like, this is like, I want to go in the cage. So I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go see if Woolrose will help me and he'll operate the cage when I go down.
Yeah. I can help, for sure.
I just like, who are these other people? Wait, was I just not paying attention?
Oh, those are our NPCs.
Yeah, there's
okay.
a lot of them.
We have like 7 NPCs now.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say, I'll still go to Woolrose because I was like, I don't know about these fucks, and so I'll go to him.
Were you here when we gained them all?
No.
Okay, so maybe let me give a quick rundown just so you know who's here. We have, starting from the top of the gear, or like in the central gear, new people. So you know Keshma, you know Belcorge, the mini beholder. Yeah. We now have Biff Longsteel of the Humandale Longsteels. Everybody's pretty sure that is not his real name. But he is just kind of too pathetic for anybody to have really cared so far. We have then in the hallway Lucanu, who was up until her imprisonment in the mirror, the bodyguard of Queen Napaka, the last queen of Omu. And she has decided to join you guys to kill Asirak because fuck that guy, basically.
Vengeance.
Because fuck him. We also have, just below Willross, we have Tlad Zolbris, who is a drow with a crossbow, who has been trapped in that mirror for quite some time, and was with a group many, many years ago, basically trying to delve into this tomb for treasure, and that ended poorly, so he is also on board the let's find a way out of here. And then Gibbles is my brother's new character. I think
Okay.
Everything that you guys know about Gibbles so far is that he's a merchant, or was a merchant from Waterdeep, who snuck in after another group trying to seek riches to further his family's status, and almost immediately got captured by Withers, and they decided to throw him in the base of the stone gargoyles because they were each full of coins, and that was funny to them. So that is and then you guys helped him get out because he started shouting at you from inside one of the gargoyles.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll still go to Willross though, because I'll be like, I don't know about these others.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Yaza's gonna try and see if she can like kind of step onto the cage and trying to see about opening it.
Definitely. I mean, you can easily open it. It's like everything else on this dock. It's old, and but it's maintained, so you can definitely get into the diving cage. And close the door behind you if you want. Sorry, close the door behind you if you want. Yawning while talking on voice, very effective.
Okay, so I'll just ask before you hop in if Will Ross can like inspect the, the thing to bring down. What do you call it?
See if it's trapped.
Yeah, let's look at it first before I'm like, oh, let's go in, and then that's where Yaza ends.
Do you want me to make an investigation check?
I mean, I could do that too. I was just like, what you thought about it and everything.
That was a pretty good investigation check.
Yeah, that was.
Yaza's wasn't, but...
Yaza would have been like, and I'm ready.
Yeah, Yaza, you're just impatient, like, this looks fine to me, whatever. Will Ross, you don't notice anything particular, like, it looks like an old winch, or an old crane. Winch crane? Crinch? It's a crinch. Yeah. It's an old crinch. But it looks perfectly serviceable.
I was thinking more of a Wayne.
A Wayne?
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne. It's Australian.
I'm gonna call this Wayne Bruce.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
So Yaza's totally gonna hop in there then.
Okay.
Okay.
That
I mean,
sounds like a
Qhelec
good
exploded
thing.
himself, so whatever. You can go drown. It's better
Yeah,
than
right.
exploding
I
yourself.
know. Isn't that what it is? Oh, hold on. Yaza will probably do something to herself before. Hold on. Let me decide what she's gonna do.
Okay, so what precisely are you guys doing right now? Are you lowering in, or?
I was just gonna, I was gonna do, let's see. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith and gives me another 2 to AC. Just, I don't know, in case.
Just for shits and giggles.
Interesting. It's a concentration spell. Fun. Cool.
So that's going to be interesting. I was like, I don't want to blow something on this that, it might have been worth it later on when I die, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I was just curious how it worked. I'm always curious
Yeah.
when they're concentration versus non-concentration. Okay, so you are, I guess, Will Ross. Go ahead.
Before we send you down into the deep depths along with the really shiny crabs, might be advantageous to detect magic here. You want me to do that real quick?
Detect magic doesn't work very well here.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean,
Kind of just take a risk, really.
not sure if that's necessarily true, but fair enough.
It potentially may not work reliably.
No, detect magic works fine. It just tells you what school it is if it's there. I think there's just
Could be helpful.
the guess is always if the trap is mechanical or magical in nature, if there is a trap, because I have a feeling that's what you're
The
thinking.
fact
of.
that he's bringing up traps makes me think this is a trap.
Well, I guess this is more of a lack of understanding the game. If I did an investigation check, I would be able to see if it's trapped, regardless if it's magical or physical, right?
So
No, you might be able to see mechanical, right? But not magical at all. For an
So
investigation.
perception is usually to figure something out. Investigation, I would say, is probably more for physical stuff, although it may get you close to figuring out, like, there may be enough stuff to help you figure out there's magic. Magic checks are usually arcana based. So, like, that's where if a lot of times if a caster wants to investigate, I will sometimes have them just roll arcana, because I would assume that they would kind of pick up on it. Detect magic, the spell, literally just like you cast it and it tells you unless there is some effect that suppresses detect magic, which also this tomb is kind of a bitch about sometimes. But like by and large, detect magic, if you cast it, tells you everything in 30 feet, like what's magic.
Okay. I can ritually cast that if you guys want to wait 10 minutes, or I can eat up a spell slot too.
Yaza definitely doesn't want to wait 10 minutes.
Alright, I'm going to spend a spell slot and I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Cool.
Just say, I don't care if you cast it. Like Yaza doesn't care. She's ready to go.
Okay, so
She's going whether there's magic or not.
yeah, let's see here. Will Ross, things that are magic around you. Both of the boats are magic and have transmutation aura on them. The diving cage radiates transmutation. Jesus Christ. Transmutation. There is a transmutation effect on the diving cage and the open door that Lucanu is standing kind of right on the other side of. That door gives off a... What is that?
An instant locking kind of magic.
I have to look up a spell real quick to tell you what school you're getting. And everybody dies.
Yeah. That was a great game, guys.
So,
I'm playing with you. All right.
transmutation would essentially tell me that there's a possibility that that cage is not what it appears to be.
So transmutation is changing something into another. Oh, so the door gives off. That's stupid. That is a stupid school of magic for what that door does, and I reject the book's reality and substitute my own.
Thus is the privilege of being the DM.
I'm going to say conjuration. Or actually, no, there's enchantment on the door. There's an enchantment effect on the door. There are transmutation effects on the boats and the cage. Transmutation is generally changing one thing into another thing. Enchantment is pretty broad. Honestly, enchantment's more of a method, but whatever.
Yaza, I would be extremely careful with that cage. It has a strong magical presence to it, and I don't think it's what we think it is. Could be a big trap.
She just like looks over to him. She was like,
Cool story, bro.
Like, I'm glad I brought you here.
Oh.
These boats also next to us are not what they appear to be, and there's something going on with the door we see.
Oh, I think Yaza, at this point, you can see the back side of the door, which is actually because the door is open, the outside of the door. God, I'm so good at life tonight.
I word great.
Me eloquent speak be. So there's a giant mouth on the outside of that door, carved into it. Yeah.
I'll tell Will Ross that.
You are told, Will Ross.
Just the end.
Yeah. I will repeat every action you do in the declarative.
Yeah, it's like, there is a mouth in the back of this door. I'm ready to go down now.
Is there a gap between these that I can see all of this happening?
If you're there, you'd have to be like right up on it. You'd have to be like, I'm just gonna say you'd have to be in the hallway to kind of see through. If you're trying to, yeah.
Alright. Yaza's just like, let's see how this. Well, you know what? No, I like my staff of the python. I want to keep it. I was gonna say we could throw my snake down there, but it's too big for it anyways.
Listen, there's a chance you get in that cage, and you're not able to get back out once you're underwater.
I'll just Do you think I'll be able to go home?
If home is in the grave, then there's a good potential.
Yeah, back to hell, where she belongs.
That sounds pretty nice.
Oh, you two speak so nicely to each other.
That's why we're gonna get married.
I know. Anyway. Sorry, Will Ross. They're always like this with each other. It's just how it is. Okay.
Yep. I still want to go down. I want to see what happens. Now it's built up too much. Gotta go.
I mean, Qhelec's in a prime viewing location to watch her die, so I'm down.
I feel like Grandma's like, I gave you all the warnings.
I'm gonna just take out my flute and just start playing like a really sad song. Kind of just like mocking Yaza for making a dumb decision.
At this point, Lucanu just sighs in exasperation at the theatricality of all of this. And just, Will Ross, as you're playing, she literally moves you over, walks up to the winch, and just looks to you, Yaza, and says, "Good luck," and just starts winching you down into the water. As you submerge into the water, you notice the interesting fact that you are having no troubles whatsoever breathing. So there is some sort of magical effect on this diving cage. It is allowing you to breathe freely underwater.
Yeah, I already looked up the breathing rules because I was worried about that.
Yeah, how long can I breathe underwater? The short answer
Yep.
is you got a high con, so probably a while.
Yep.
Is my guess. Cool. Lacuna lowers you, kind of watching what's going on. Will Ross here playing this pitiful dirge to Yaza. Yaza, you get the cage kind of descends to the bottom of this pool and stops, and you can see a couple feet beyond the cage in all directions. The crabs kind of scuttle away and just kind of clear out so that you can to kind of get away from this large object. I can't speak human tonight. All these little phosphorescent crabs kind of scuttle out of the way of this cage that clunks down about 20 feet or so below the surface of the water.
So there's an object there.
There's much crabs and stone.
Oh, there. So like when I do like a 360 down on the bottom, do I see anything? Should I roll perception?
Well, you can make out the pillars. So there's a pillar where the stairwell is that goes all the way down to the bottom of the cavern. You can see that the gear structure for each of the cogs, it kind of gets narrower below the waterline, so it's not really easy to tell above. It gets a little narrower, like 5 feet narrower on a side. But the gear assembly continues all the way to the base, and it looks like each of these giant stone and iron gears is kind of affixed to the floor. You can also see, just to your north, kind of where I'm pinging, hidden under the overhang of the gear above, is a large kind of amorphous shape that just appears to be floating in the water about 20 feet away.
Okay. It's 20 feet away. And how big is this shape?
It looks like you're kind of looking at it head on. From head on, it kind of looks like probably it's a giant eel of some sort that is just kind of floating facing you. The body of it is about 5 feet in diameter, So fairly large, right? For
Yeah.
an aquatic creature, because it's kind of head on to you, it's hard to say how long it is, but you're guessing at least 10 or 15 feet. It is some large creature that is just kind of floating, staring head on at you from the overhang of the gear above.
Does he look to be doing anything?
You can see that it, as you continue to stare at it, let me unhide it. As you stare at it, you can see that it does have a large mouth. It's not really opening it. It just has a large mouth, and it has 3 eyes stacked vertically, and they're all just kind of staring, or not staring, just watching you, as it just kind of floats there as you are in this diving cage.
Is it near? So it actually is like right next to Qhelec?
So because of the verticality, Qhelec and this creature are actually about 40 to 50 feet apart vertically. Because Qhelec is on top of the gears that rise about 20 feet above the water, and this creature is near the bottom of this underground lake. So, and it is also conveniently under the overhang of the gear. So it's kind of like in here, if that makes.
Oh, yep.
So it is in a spot where, unless you are literally underneath the gear underwater or in the water, it would be almost impossible to see it because of lines of sight.
I mean, can I roll like a history or something to see if I know anything about a creature like this? Like if this is like maybe the mama, or like if there might be others, or if it, if I know anything really about this.
Nature?
Or nature, I don't know what,
I'm looking up if there is. Sorry, this is one of those things in 5e that I always. I think this would probably. I'd go for pretty much any check you want, because 5e is kind of weird about these, but it might be Arcana, but I would accept anything else.
I mean, it's all the same. It's all that. That's all intelligence,
Yeah,
anyways.
they're all +1s.
Yeah, they're all +1s for me. I'm like not the smartest, so it's fine. I'll just roll nature. That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. So you definitely know that this creature doesn't look like anything normal. You're pretty sure it is it's probably either some sort of aberration or some sort of monstrosity, but it is probably not from the material plane, as it were. I don't think you are able to quite figure out exactly what it is, just because this type of creature is very rare.
But if I haven't seen it before,
you've never seen it before, and you're certain that this is not from. This ain't from Faerun, right? Like this is something from somewhere else. Just like Belcorge, everybody's favorite beholder, is not from our plane of existence. Neither is this thing. This comes from somewhere else.
from our current plane of existence.
Well, you're a tiefling. You're from the material plane. Come on now. You may want to be a giver.
I've been to others.
Ah. Yes, this plane, the material
She
plane.
identifies with other planes.
Yeah.
I identify with the 9 hells. Thank you very much.
Okay.
As you're kind of studying it, this creature kind of swims around, kind of staying under the gear, and just kind of watching you. I think for the rest of the folks, it's hard to see. I think Wilros, you and Lucanu, since you're both watching Yaza, can kind of make out that a dark shape is gliding through the water up there. but it's hard to make out any more detail than that.
I think we should pull her up. There's something in the water.
Well, I think at this point I would just kind of like tug on it too, like probably at the same point when he was like, maybe we should get her out.
I'll go ahead and start wenching her up.
Yeah. Laguno, see that you want to use the winch now and go, oh, and just let you have at it.
How long was I down there, though, you think?
I don't know, a minute, maybe 2 minutes.
Okay, so it's still conceivable that, like, maybe they think I was breathing on my own. Like,
Or holding your breath.
or holding my breath, yeah, sorry.
It would be getting to the edge of what most people would consider normal breath holding.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get winched up, and you see that creature kind of swimming back and forth around over there as you are winched up. And then I think Will Ross, you and Yaza hear a voice in your heads say, "Wow, it was nice to see one of you. Does anybody else want to come down and visit me?"
And I'll just, like, look at Will Ross, like, with, like, the look like, did you hear what I heard? But I won't say anything.
Is that creature friendly? What did you see down there?
I saw a weird, what's the size of it? Like, large?
Large. It's definitely a large creature, if not bigger.
Yeah, but not huge or giant or okay. Yeah, so I saw a large eel. It has a few eyes and definitely is not from here. It is an interesting creature. Oh. And I was breathing just fine. If you noticed, I'm not out of breath.
Do I know why she's able to breathe underwater?
I mean, you can assume that the magical effect on. I mean, you can put two and two together. This is not a low magic world. She like
Right, yeah, because you figured out that it was transmutation, and that's the
Yeah.
probably.
So it's like, oh, there's probably water breathing or something permanently enchanted on that cage. Like,
Gotcha.
it makes sense that she would not have had to breathe. And the voice says to both of you, I mean, I don't think I'm dangerous. I'm not dangerous to me, so I'm probably not dangerous to anyone else.
And then I look at him and I'm just like, this must be the eel.
Mr. Eel, can you hear us?
I mean, of course, you're standing right there, and you see the creature kind of get closer to the surface of the water to the point where it's actually kind of visible, and you can see it just trail past. It has a variety, like it has the three eyes. This picture has this mouth wide open, but it is not like swimming by just like it's not doing that. But it does have, you can see its rear body kind of breaks apart into some cross between an eel and a squid. And it just kind of swims by, goes under the boats, and it says, "Of course I can hear you, silly. You're only like 20 or 30 feet away from me."
Well, my name is Wilros. What is your name?
God damn it, we're going to do this to me again.
Recruiting another NPC.
I don't know if I can recruit this one. You try.
Well, you don't
It
know
would be
that yet.
amusing to have it go flopping down the hallways.
Yeah. There it is. So I don't know if. Well, hi, Real Ross. It's fun to meet you. We get so few visitors down here, but it's really exciting anytime somebody comes down and actually talks to me. I don't know if you can really say my name, but you can call me Leeroy's pretty close, and it makes this weird sound. And at this point, Qhelec, it's basically broadcasting to everybody. And all of you hear it make this weird guttural combination of noises that somewhere in there's kind of a Leeroy sound. And
So basically, if Dory tried to say Leeroy,
yeah. And so then it says, so I think Leeroy is probably just easier. I mean, y'all have to talk with your tongue meat, your mouth meat. That's weird, but you know, it's pretty common on this plane, so I guess that's how it goes.
Well, I like your little abode down here. Is this where you live?
I mean, for a while, yeah. This is worked for this age, you know. It's quiet. The temperature's nice. All the crabs I can eat, and sometimes people are, you know, throw things in the water for me, so that's nice.
I'll take out one of my rations and throw it in the water for him. Here you go.
So you know, it's swimming around, and it's not. It's
I also
never.
want to say Yaza is on top of the cage at this point, and she's going to step back over onto the platform next to Wilros.
Yeah, and it is staying about. It's only ever getting. The closest it gets to the surface of the water is probably a good 5 feet. Like, it is staying deep enough that, like, you can't just, like, get to it. It lets the ration sink to the bottom and then kind of swims by it and appears to almost do the eel equivalent of sniffing it, and says, "Oh, thanks. I have a pretty specialized diet. I'm sorry I can't eat that, but thank you for offering. My apologies. Waste the food for your type, I guess. But thank you. You know, I think I talked to some of you before, but like everybody's here now. How's it going?"
Qhelec will just kind of say, "You mentioned that people throw things into the water. What do people throw into the water? Is there something that helps you? Is there something you want?"
Well, you know, sometimes the dwarves throw bodies in the water, and that's always fun because, you know, I love that beautiful mix of you know, all the different flavors of meat that you can get here, and then the different bones. They're all so different and interesting, and depending on how they died, it's always, you know, changes the flavor. But the dwarves do that sometimes. Every once in a while, somebody tries to come and poke me with pointy things, and that always makes me angry. So I usually just finish them and then, you know, dinner. So that's fun. But you guys have been nice so far. You're talking to me, so, you know, it's fun. Usually people just scream the first time they see me. So maybe it's because you have horns. Maybe that's why you didn't scream. You're kind of like me, right? Yeah, we're the same. I mean, obviously we're not the same at all, but like, we're kind of the same.
You're
And
right, we are kind of the same.
So what is there to do around here? What do you like to do?
Well, I like to think. Think a lot. Sometimes I dream. I'm kind of waiting to see how long this whole place lasts, because, you know, they just built it, and I mean, it gets a lot of traffic, you know, for how far underground we are. So I'm waiting to see how long this place lasts, you know. Someday I might follow the river out, but it doesn't matter.
How long
really.
have you been here?
And you get the intent. It kind of, you can see it kind of looking up at you, and it's almost like it doesn't know how to parse that question. And it says, I mean, I guess longer than this structure. I wasn't really counting. I liked the lake. I slept for a long time. This isn't my first home, but, you know, It's been quiet since Ubtao kind of kicked everybody else out, and it's been real nice since then.
Oh, weird. Where was your first home?
Oh, far away. I don't think you'd know it, but definitely not this place that you think is your world. This is just kind of a nice little place I found to relax after all of the unfortunate stuff that happened back when all of those gods and primordials got up to all their business, and then I've just been kind of laying low and thinking about things for a while.
How did you end up here? Did someone bring you here? Did you move here from somewhere?
Oh, we have our ways. I mean, sometimes when there's certain conjunctions of energies and we can find the flow. I think I got here from an ocean. I didn't come the normal way, but it was a long time ago, and I'm not kind of gone fuzzy on the details, but there was all the fighting, and then the giant guy and the giant serpent fought, and all the gods didn't like us much, so I hid, but then it looked like they kicked all of the gods kicked all of the false gods out, and I just kind of swam down here. Nubteo didn't care, even though he was one of their false gods. They let him stay, and I just kind of snuck in here, and I've been hanging out ever since.
What was the name of the god he just mentioned? The false god?
Ubteo. Which is a god of Qhelec that is, or, well, most people just consider him a god. Let's put it that way, unless you're a scholar of some sort. Oh, you have archaeology, don't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty well versed, I think, in history.
Yeah, so D&D primer for, I don't know if we've ever gotten into this in character. Ubteo was a primordial. The primordials and the gods of Toril fought in something called the Dawn War, tens of thousands of years ago. All of the gods that all of you guys know of as the gods kicked out all of the primordials except Ubteo, and Ubteo was given dominion over Qhelec. And the legend has it that Ubteo, in exchange for being given Qhelec, would, whenever Dendar the Night Serpent comes back, will defeat Dendar. And in exchange, all the gods of Toril have let Qhelec be Ubteo's sole dominion. Or at least that's what the legends say. And I think, Will Ross, you'd know that. Yaza, you'd probably know a bit of that because of your specific background. Your god would be very big on following those rules. Not necessarily agrees with them, but that was the agreement that was made.
Right.
That's why you're here and not something more powerful, for example. Qhelec, I don't think you'd know any of this, to be honest.
Oh, I don't know shit.
Yeah, Teresa would probably know this.
Qhelec's retarded. I've come to terms with that.
Yeah. Keshma, as this is all happening, kind of peeks out and sees this creature and just goes, "Ugh, I don't have time for this," and just walks back away. Like she seems to see exactly and know what it is and just walks away. Just doesn't care. I think also while this is happening, Belcorge kind of floats out to kind of see what's happening. And you see at one point Belcorge and this creature kind of lock eyes, and
All of their eyes.
Yeah. The very odd number of eyes between these two creatures. They stare at each other and kind of regard each other, and they both, the creature in the water, Leeroy, stops talking to the rest of you, and it appears as if it and Belcorge are having probably some sort of telepathic conversation. And then after a few minutes, or after a minute or so of that, Belcorge rolls its main eye and literally almost like tilts backwards and lets out a guttural sigh and just floats back away into the main corridor, as if it is dissatisfied with whatever this creature told it while they were talking.
So Qhelec will ask if this, or ask this creature if it has ever seen these gears move.
Oh yeah, no, they move, definitely. People go into that far room to the west, and then there's buttons and stuff. I've never actually seen the buttons directly, but I know that there's controls of some sort, and those make the gears move. And then,
Does it hurt you if they move?
you know, there was one time that somebody actually like tried to stand between them, and he fell into the gears, and he was definitely hurt. Also, a very good snack, but you know, I didn't do that. Like, the gear did that. So I would say don't stand on the gear when it's moving. But people inside the rooms, they usually have to do something. Although I think the center room, every once in a while, if it connects to the north, that makes something happen in there. But the rest of the rooms, I don't think the moving of the gears itself does anything to anyone.
Okay.
And he said the room to the west has the buttons.
Yeah, so I think you can probably just make out that there is a corridor off to the west, going from that gear. I'm not sure. You will see it as soon as you get close to it or into the gear itself.
Right.
So,
And for point of, just because I wasn't here last week, where did our party come from? How did we get down here?
Dropped in from a shaft in the ceiling of the middle gear.
Gotcha. Okay.
so Qhelec has been over here before, way up here, up in this corner.
Yeah.
Is this an open gap the way it appears?
So I'm just going to move you around the perimeter of all the gears real quick, just to
Okay.
reveal the map so I can give kind of one blanket description of some of this stuff. Ignore the area I accidentally just revealed. Not that it's hidden, it's just you haven't been there yet. And there's walls and stuff, so I'm just kind of gonna do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Because I'm assuming you will have revealed all of this, so I'm just going to do it. Oh, cool, I did that right. Whatever. So there's a room, so basically each gear has 2 exits. You can figure that out pretty quickly, Qhelec, because you fly around. All of the exits except the north exit up here. So there's a chamber to the north of the central gear. The stone of that chamber moves flush with the gear in a way that looks or with the walls of the chamber itself that looks impossible, except for it must be a magical seal. Like, you get the impression that no matter what happens, those walls are going to remain connected to the gear, because otherwise it couldn't rotate.
Okay.
Knowing that these rotate. All of the other gaps that you can see, whether or not the graphic is actually lined up correctly, because it turns out the way this map was drawn, the gears are physically impossible. So, and we haven't solved that problem yet. But in any other case, all of the connections between the gears and the corridors coming off of them and the corridors they connect to, there's just enough space for a medium humanoid to kind of squeeze through that gap and get in. The only main difference being that the configuration of the gears, quite obviously looking at the current configuration they're in, makes it so that certain pathways can be traversed without any difficulty. Like right now, the central gear connects to the west gear and the south central passageway, if that makes sense. The gear that you're standing on, Qhelec, connects to the north exit passageway and the passageway to the southeast.
Wait, so the central gear does connect to the gear to the left?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a little gap right here that he was saying you have to squeeze through. But then this hallway right here is open to that doorway.
Gotcha.
So like, there's no doors on any of these gears. They just have open passageways that basically either have a small corridor or whatever. Yeah. That's how I'm running it.
Cool. So they're magic walls that line up and they're magic. Okay, got it. Okay.
So where you were, Qhelec, the one difference is that corridor right there is sealed with an adamantine gate that has 5 tear-shaped dark red gems embedded in the archway above the gate.
Okay. Sounds like fun.
So it is impassable right now.
Nifty. All right. I'm going to go back here, and then I'm going to go into this gear.
Sure. The interior of this gear. So as you walk in, or as you get kind of into the room itself, there's an acidic stench that fills this chamber, and it has 2 exits. The walls are covered with riveted sheets of iron, and the pockmarked stone floor has a large puddle of gray slime in the middle of it. Friezes along each wall, just beneath the ceiling, depict 5 black dragons, one on each side of the wall. So this is the big frieze. The walls are made out of iron. Each of those friezes near the ceiling has a black dragon engraved or carved into it.
Got it.
And down below that creature is just swimming back and forth, just kind of watching you. It almost looks like Will Ross and Yaza and Lucanu, and even sometimes looking at Tlad, just watching with it looks like genuine interest as it just swims back and forth.
Out of curiosity, is Laukin's Great Feast or whatever poison resistance still a thing?
I think it lasts for 24 hours.
So yes.
Let me look at his spell book. I love how he spent a 6th level spell to make a feast.
I know. Like.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I completely forgot about this. For everybody who wasn't here last week, Xanthiel conjured a hero's feast in the central hallway. If you decide to eat of it, it cures all diseases and poisons, and you become immune to poison, being frightened, and make all wisdom saving throws with advantage. You also get an extra 2d10 hit points. Your maximum hit points increase by 2d10, and you gain that number of hit points as well, so you basically get more hit points, and those benefits last for 24 hours.
Actually, I don't think I ever did the 2d10, now that I think about it.
Sorry, say it again. We get 2d10 hit points, and what else about the hit points?
So you gain 2d10 maximum hit points, and it gives you, it basically heals you for those hit points as well.
Oh, okay, good.
So you can basically, I would say, there's a thing to add max to your hit points, I guess. Well, we can always reference D&D Beyond for what your hit point maximum should actually be. As a point of order, Qhelec, the creature in the water, is not an Underdark favored foe.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
And for other point of order, I'm considering the lake is kind of on borderline. I don't know. Whatever. I also have no
How about
idea.
the surface of the water
Yeah,
makes
I
it
don't know.
not up here? I don't know.
Sure. I don't know how you track something swimming in water, and I would say that would require some sort of water-favored terrain.
Which I think you can technically do that, if I remember correctly, but, like, I don't have that.
Probably. I'm sure oceans or lakes or something is a favored terrain, but...
I'm sure if I was, like, a merfolk or something, I could track it, but that's
Yeah.
about all I got. Okay, while I'm in this room, so if I look at the pictures, paintings, whatever the fuck they are, can I tell if there's like any kind of traps in the room that I can sense other than the like poison that seems to be in the air?
Yeah, so there's a stench of acid in the air. I'm drawing the puddle of slime in the middle of the floor.
Oh yes, slime the floor. That's right.
Do you go up and inspect the freezes?
I'd like to look at the slime before I go anywhere else.
Okay. So the slime. Let's switch back this way. And nope, that's the wrong. Where's the next floor? There it is. So it's viscid gray slime. A big pool of it in the middle of the floor. It looks gross, and barring some reason why you would want to touch it, you're pretty sure touching it would not be a good idea. Like, you don't know what it is, but whatever it is looks bad, if that makes sense.
If I move from where I am to right here,
Yep.
does it seem to move at all?
No, it does not seem to respond to your movement.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna kind of go to right here, poke my head out, and just ask if anyone wants to come and try and move the gears with me.
What did we find in this room down below?
Which room? Sorry, can you ping it again? That
That's
was
for the-
that was where there was a statue of a gargoyle. It had a broken off arm on the floor. I think Qhelec, did you shatter it or was it somebody else?
That was definitely Xanthiel.
Xanthiel broke the fist. Inside the fist, there was that ruby that Qhelec picked up. It disappeared. The statue breathed out a bunch of gas that was not poison. It knocked out, I think, Xanthiel, and it triggered the stone juggernaut. Anybody who wasn't here, the juggernaut looked like this, except instead of them running away in fear, Qhelec stunned it, and then they smashed it to bits.
Yeah, it tried to run us over, and then Sebastian divine smited that bitch.
Yeah. Sebastian done wrecked it, pretty much. It was a nice crowd control followed by DPS burst to get rid of that thing. Rip my stone juggernaut counter. Did anybody take any damage? I don't think anybody did.
Nope.
It was just,
0 damage.
Yep. It was great.
The only damage was to the juggernaut.
It rolled terribly at getting out of that ensnaring strike. So yeah, And I think you guys have claimed the ruby.
That's the ruby that is the eye of
Zaltec.
Zaltec.
Yes.
Right, that Qhelec just stashed and never said shit. Right.
I mean, you saw it, I guess, because we used your
Right.
archaeology check on it.
Oh, the ruby.
Right.
Sorry, Alex was talking to me and we had it muted, so I wasn't paying attention. Then I heard my name.
Hey, Leeroy, I'm very intrigued about these two boats here, Predator and Prey. What do these things do?
Yeah, they both. I don't really know why they put them here. Gora put them here when they built this place, and I'm assuming there's some sort of trickery, but like they basically sail around. I know they both have magical effects, but I've never really cared enough to really get into them. I think but one of them is the predator boat and one is the prey, which I guess is a funny joke, but they don't really affect me all that much. Let's see here.
Well, and then I also want to ask Leroy, well, what about this cage? Have a lot of people come to visit you before?
I mean, a few people have, and I try to talk to everybody because it's fun to get visitors. Usually, so the cage, that door, if you close it, it's got a stupid spell on it. Like, the number of stupid practical jokes they've built in this place is just, I don't know. I just don't understand mortal senses of humor, I guess. But you have to feed it some of the crabs if you close that door, otherwise it just shouts at you for a while. It's really annoying. If it was an actual creature, I'd probably just put it out of its misery, but you know, it's a door, and they've put so much work into making all this stuff that it seems wrong to break it. So I leave it be, even if it's annoying.
Which door is he referring to? The one that
Door
Yaza.
on the cage.
My cage.
No, the door so the
the
door
mouth on.
between Yaza and Lucani.
Oh.
That door that has the mouth on it, that's what. And the aboleth just kind of gets close enough and like lifts one tentacle up and points at it, and then dips back underwater.
Maybe we should grab some of these cages just in case. Or these crabs.
Crabs on the bottom. Yeah. Well, we do. I'm gonna ask Leroy if he's ever seen what's happened with when people get in the boats.
So I mean, some people have tried to attack me when they get in the boats, which is just rude. I mean, come on, like, this is my home. You're coming here. Why do you got to get in a boat and attack me?
Yeah,
But
you seem like a nice creature.
I mean, I think so. But you know, one of the boats, the predator one, a couple of people have actually hit me when they're in that one. And when somebody else is in the prey one, it seems to be a little harder when they fight me to hit them. But you know, I usually win. So you know, I don't know how much good it's done. You know, rude interlopers that have come in here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe it had something to do with the magic on the boats then.
I mean, it could be. I mean, everything in here is magical or mechanical some way. Like I said, they just put so much effort into this place. It'd be impressive if it wasn't all destined to fall apart in the end.
Well, have you ever seen? You said you've seen the cogs move, right? But have visitors made the cogs move, or was that when it first came into place?
Oh yeah, no, that control room off to the west, it has something that makes the cogs move, but I stay in the water. It's it's a hassle to try and climb around outside of the water. I don't really see the point. So, but I know when they go in there, when people go in there, they make it move.
Oh, okay.
How
I
deep
don't
is
know if Qhelec can hear any of that though, because if he's in the room.
I stuck my head out to ask you guys if you wanted to come help.
we should,
Leeroy is speaking telepathically at all times, by the way. And
Okay,
he's
that's
just
a good, thing.
Leeroy's just kind of broadcasting to all. So you're all hearing Leeroy's side of the conversation in your heads. I'm assuming, unless you guys specify that you're like thinking back to him, you're just talking back, because he's just swimming around here, kind of watching y'all do stuff.
Okay, yeah.
hey, Leeroy, are there other creatures from your plane of existence that are here as well?
Not from my plane. We're pretty insular, and not everybody from my plane is as interested in talking to folks like you. I'm happy to. This has been an interesting, I guess, intermission in my time here, so I'm happy. But no, there's nobody else like me here, right?
Hey, Leeroy, if I play you a song, I'm a really good musician. If I play you a song, will you fetch us some of those crabs off the seafloor for us?
If it's a song I haven't heard before, I will, because that sounds like a new thing to learn, and that sounds fun.
Yeah, I'll pull out my lyre and play him an original tune. Kind of make one up on the spot about meeting Leeroy and him being a really good friend to us.
Are you gonna sing for us?
Out of character, I am not going to sing. Leeroy was a really nice man thing. That's all I got.
The end.
Okay.
Ah, man.
Wow, but what a bonus.
For real.
Pulling victory from the jaws of defeat there. So Leeroy kind of swims around as you're singing, and he says, they say flattery doesn't work, but I'm gonna take it, because that was nice. It's so much nicer than when people scream and yell at me. I still don't understand why some people are just so opposed to things that aren't like them. I mean, she's got horns, and you Birdman up there, like, no offense, but like, you're a bird, right? So it's nice to see people who celebrate their differences. And Leeroy dives down and kind of grabs a couple of crabs and then just chucks them up onto the dock. Leeroy, as the crabs land, you notice that they're covered in a kind of slimy mucus, and Leeroy says, you might want to pick those up with something.
Will they hurt us?
And Leeroy says, oh, I'm certain that'll hurt you if you touch it. But you played me a nice song, so you should use some gloves or something to pick those up.
Well, I appreciate the heads up, Mr. Leeroy. Just trying to look what I have in my inventory.
And Qhelec, you noticed that you can, from where you're looking, after Leeroy points that out, you notice the mucus covering those crabs looks the same as the puddle in the middle of that gear.
Okay. So,
And
when I notice that, I'll ask Leeroy, have you been inside this gear lately, Leeroy?
Nope. I don't go up in the gears. That's a lot of effort, and I have a nice pool to swim in down here. Why do you ask?
Do you know why that same slime that you just told us could potentially hurt us would be in the middle of this room?
Oh, yeah, they siphon that. Those dwarves, and he kind of pokes some tentacles up at some of those tomb dwarves hanging off the ceiling doing repairs. I think they siphon it off the surface, or maybe one of these mechanisms down here does it, and then they store it up and they put it around. Like I said, so many stupid practical jokes they play out here, but every once in a while, some of those dwarves fall in the water, and then they're all mine, and they're not really alive, so it doesn't matter. And Gora doesn't seem to mind if I eat them, so I guess everybody wins.
Just as a point of reference, when I cast Detect Magic, none of those crabs had pinged.
No.
Okay.
The crabs themselves just appear to be bioluminescent crabs.
Gotcha. But the mucus, it comes from the water, not necessarily from them.
No, so the mucus doesn't... I mean, based on what Leeroy has been saying, you're assuming the mucus somehow comes from Leeroy.
Oh.
He grabbed them and threw them up, and they were covered in this slime. And I think all of you notice now that slime that is on those crabs, there's also pools of slime or oil that kind of congeal in places on the water. It all looks to be the same slime.
Gotcha. I'll take out just my bedroll and put the crabs carefully in there without touching there on the surface. Just kind of tuck it away, just so we have them.
Okay.
So,
I'll be right back.
while I'm in this chamber, that was awful. I don't see anything. Never mind. Just over here wandering around, living my best bird life. It's fine.
Belcorge definitely follows you and is just kind of floating along. There's a... Actually, that's open. That doorway that you went up to, that's just open. My apologies. There should not be a door there. Let me...
It's okay. I have a magic ability to open and close it, so...
Take that. No door. So as you walk up to that room and Belcorge is following you, and kind of you hear from Belcorge just in his direct guttural voice, if this is the way out, we're going to look at it. And as you come into this room, you see a 4-foot-high, 7-foot-wide iron lectern in the middle of a rusty iron-plated room. The lectern is topped by a slanted control panel. Let me show you guys this photo while I describe it. So this is the view kind of walking in from the doorway. Set into the control panel are a gold lever with a star-shaped handle, 2 dials in red and blue that look like they rotate a little bit to each side, and 2 buttons of the same color set into the panel. Wall engravings behind the control panel show 5 groups of circles with a small crystal embedded in the wall under each one. The crystal under the middle and 3rd configuration is glowing green. Above those carvings in the wall, there are 3 6-inch rusty iron pipes jutting out of the wall with, it appears, some of that same slime you saw on the floor in the other room, just just a faint drip or tendril of it dripping out from the pipes.
Okay. The things on the wall, if I'm looking in the photo, they're all organized the same way. Is that
So if you look, so as the picture looks, I'm gonna share another picture, just because I am.
There's like slight openings, like where those bridges are. You can see in those bridges.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's because I don't
Whoa,
want.
whoa, whoa! Why are we looking at Dotland? Okay.
You're looking at Dotland because this is an actual diagram of how things connect.
You opened that can of worms.
No,
So-
this looks like Eve maps.
Right.
Does it?
So this is
Can we? Where's the
Almost identical.
where's the ratting delta?
yeah. Where's the Sav icons? So basically, these are the three configurations actually diagrammed. And so the green circles are connections where, like, when in a given configuration, the green circles indicate the kind of pathways that are easy to traverse. Yeah, the diagram's not perfect. I didn't make it, but I figured it'd be useful to have an actual diagram because I don't want the puzzle to be figuring out that art piece. Or
Yep.
like, so these are the 5 configurations on the wall, actually
Okay.
laid out as a schematic. Yeah, because I think the picture is a little hard to ascertain this from. Like, I think it's technically possible, but, whatever. I don't want this to become, let's debate the picture. Yeah, I
I'm
think,
actually not going to be picky on it, so it's fine.
hey, I'm going to pick and choose my battles, because this whole floor is fun if you start playing with the controls. So I wanted to at least make this part. Here we go. If we need to pull it back up, I can pull it back up. I'm going to close it on my end. But yeah, so you've got a red and a blue button, a red and a blue dial, and a gold star topped lever. Those are kind of all the salient items that you see in this room, Qhelec. And I'm going to pause for a second to get a drink. And I guess if anybody needs to go to the bathroom or anything, now's a great time. And I'll be right back. And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Are Rio or Alex here? Take it as a no. I don't think you were here last week, his series says. Let me... Oh no. How am I going to do this? Okay. Let's go to the NOS drive. Where did I put it? Gaming, TTRPG, my campaigns. I'm trying to find a document, but I just realized that I changed my entire storage scheme over the last week. I'm trying to find it. Pathfinder 2E. Campaign info. There it is. Great. Okay, so I don't know. Have I explained to you the Trickster Gods thing? Because I know you joined kind of at the very end of that. But have I explained the Trickster Gods to you from the prior floors?
You explained briefly that there's 9 of them, and
Mhm.
a Sarah trapped all their spirits in this tomb. I was given the Kaniath mandolin from one of them. So the one I have is a neutral good god inhabited by Shigandi.
Shigambi. Okay, so you've got Shigambi. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. So you do have a god. It is Shigambi. And you can make an extra attack when taking the attack action on your turn. Okay, cool.
Yep. I also never show mercy to evildoer.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I was just checking because some of these rooms have triggers where basically if you're possessed by a certain god, it prompts me to tell you something. But I don't think... Does anybody have this one?
I think I have the last of them. No.
Yeah, well, Shigambi was the last one that the party found. Oh, I did write it down. Will Ross. Okay. Cool.
We were also confused about the language of the instrument of the bards, the mandolin. Which I'm trying to.
Oh, do I need to pull
When you
up?
when you use the I'll click on it so it's in the game.
The instrument of the bard. Okay.
So it says you can use something about being charmed.
Okay, let me read it. An instrument of the bard is an exquisite example of its kind. 7 exist, each named for a bard. So did we agree on the Kanaith mandolin? Was that the one we agreed on? Okay,
correct.
Cool. A creature that attempts to play the instrument without being attuned to it must succeed. You can use an action to play the instrument and cast one of its spells. Okay. Once the instrument has been used to cast a spell, it can't be used to cast that spell until the next dawn. You can play the instrument while casting a spell that causes any of its targets, thereby imposing disadvantage.
Yeah, it's that last paragraph that we both were confused on.
Yeah, does it mean one of these spells, or does it mean any, like, you can basically, like, use it as a bard focus? That makes sense. Let me see if there are instruments of bards.
Like it doesn't make any. It's the way I read it. It says anytime I cast a spell from the instrument, the creature I'm casting it on is charmed with or like has a disadvantage on a save for a charm. So it's like, am I also trying to charm it too?
No, so I think it's if it's a spell that can charm, you could use, because you're a bard, you can use your instrument, I believe, as your, like, as a spell casting focus, I believe. Basically, the way I'll rule it is, and I think the intent of this is, if a spell can charm somebody and you cast it while playing the mandolin, they get disadvantage. I think they just get disadvantage on the save. So basically, if you have a charm spell, like Charm Person or Hypnotic Wave or something like that, if you cast it while playing the mandolin, the save is at disadvantage. So
Okay, cool.
Let me look at your spell list, because otherwise it would make any spell also a charm spell, which seems...
Yeah, that's what was weird.
That seems a little overpowered. Especially...
I don't think I have any charmed stuff. I have hold stuff, but...
let me look at your spell book. Vicious Mockery, Message, Mage Hand, Fairy Fire, Firefly. Abilities. Hold Monster is Hold Monster, so it would be a... Nope, that does paralysis. Yeah, I'm going to say none of your current spells... well, let's look at Eye Bite. Nope, because that does either Sleep, Panic, or Sickened. But if you did choose to instead prepare a charm spell, you could use the mandolin while you could basically sing the spell while playing the mandolin. and it would cause disadvantage. If you did it that way, I think is how that would work. Just because, yeah, otherwise it turns every spell also into charm person, and that just seems bonkers.
Yeah, that seems broken. Game breaking.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a couple of DMs agree with that, at least on my cursory view of the internet. Yeah. I like this interpretation. Yeah, when using those specific instrument spells that have a charm effect, saves are rolled at disadvantage. The wording on it's really bad. That's par for the course for 5e. Here's the 2-sentence explanation, or 3-sentence. The instrument doesn't make everything or anything capable of charming. It just imposes disadvantage on anyone you're attempting to charm, which would be specific spells such as Charm Person. I think that's a very sensible. So it's powerful, and if you plan for it correctly, that could be quite useful in certain situations, but it's not,
Right.
game-breakingly overpowered. Somebody was trying to figure out how to have a magic item start giving out class abilities, and it was one of those, like, are you making this a +1 item and give the person other abilities? Because that might get crazy. Yeah. Anyway. Hello, Lyoken.
Hello. What you wearing?
Oh, you wee wanker.
I'm wearing a gray t-shirt, black pajama pants, and snazzy socks.
Oh. So lewd.
Yeah.
Wow.
Qhelec, are you and Alex back?
Yeah.
We've been
Oh.
back.
Oh, okay. Cool. Then I think we're good to go. Xanthiel, now that you're here.
Xanthiel attacks Glad. No, she doesn't do that.
Okay, I guess roll initiative for that.
Xanthiel jumps into the water and attacks the swimming thing. Don't do that. Don't do it.
I like how you had to follow up very quickly with that.
So at this point, for much of this session, everybody has been talking to a giant eel-looking thing that goes by the name of Leeroy. Leeroy appears to be some sort of creature from another plane that is mostly just really, really curious about what everybody's doing here. And
Was that the kid voice?
that was the kid voice.
Oh.
The kid voice actually looks like this thing.
Wait, what? Where? I can't see.
Can't you see it? No?
Oh, I'm in the... Where...
Here, hold
Oh,
on.
wow, okay.
That's Move Clad. Yeah, that thing.
Yep, now I can see it.
Yeah. That's Leeroy, the inquisitive child voice
Hi.
that is talking in your minds. Qhelec and Belcorge are in the control panel room that I don't think you know from this game, but you'd know it from Saturday.
Yep. I remember that Marikana was going to start playing around with levers and we had to stop him.
That sounds like a totally safe option. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong?
Death.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, Qhelec has gone over into that room. Belcorge, the mini beholder, has followed him. For Lacuna, Yaza, Will Ross, are you guys chilling down there with Leeroy?
Should probably make our way back, Yaza, and look
Yeah,
with
I
it.
think so. I was gonna say, no, gotta move on. We've been chilling there for a while. We gotta figure this out.
So just to make people's lives easier, I'm just going to move you up here.
I totally could Leeroy down there, though. Just saying.
Yeah, let's not.
Sam feels like, I could do it, don't worry.
Yeah.
I mean, Xanthiel already jumped into the giant pit and took a bunch of bludgeoning damage, so...
That's true. Well, a little bit. She kind of has an almost Americana level hit point pool right now, so...
Yeah, well, almost.
Almost. I mean, barbarians are still fucking ridiculous, but...
Wait, I thought your AC last time was 26. How did it drop?
It was meant to be 24. I'm not sure why it did that. I had to, like, reset I had to write a custom effect so it would, like, do it properly.
I see -1 dexterity, 3 from a shield +1, and 1 from Soul of the Forge.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like the system
Yeah, I think-
updated and it's displaying better now. When you hover over it,
Yeah.
it actually shows you all of the things.
Oh, yeah, my passive effect thing's gone. Because I wrote one to... Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it's working, that's good.
Hey. So yeah, I moved everybody except Xanthiel into the Black Dragon
Control.
Freeze Slime room, because I didn't know where y'all wanted to go exactly. I just figured I'd move you a little bit.
Yeah. I'll just follow the party, like, in absence of... Oh, is what is your health bar, like, slightly purple?
Temporary hit points, I think.
They're actually permanent hit points for now, for the day.
Oh, right, the
feast.
feasting.
I mean, I put them as temporary just so I
okay.
track.
Okay. Like I said, we can always back check to D&D Beyond to figure out what the actual maximum should be. The only case it would matter is if you could also gain temporary hit points on top of your expanded maximum hit points, because technically Hero's Feast is better than temporary hit points, because you could...
Yeah. It's actual, like, max hit
Yeah.
points, and then you can get healed to it again.
Yeah. Anyway, cool. So Qhelec, you and Belcorge are inspecting the control panel. What do the rest of you want? That green stuff is bad slime.
Oh. Do I recognize it? Like, can I roll something to figure out what made it, or do we already know that?
I'll tell Xanthiel that it's from the thing you wanted to kill. It
Oh,
was
that one.
extracted from him.
Huh. There we go.
Leeroy.
Do I have a file?
I want to go back and look to actually see the diagrams and stuff. I mean, I know out of character that they're there, but Yaza's gonna follow them and here to see what's happening.
Let me see if I can make those. Can I configure permissions? Oh, cool. Observer. Not the player. If anybody looks at, like, there's a book figure in the top toolbar where, like, there's the combat and the chat log and all that. I'd be curious if you click on that, if you can see the control room and gear diagram.
Yes.
Entries. You can see them?
It's under Journal Entries tab.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Then you can click those at any time to look at them, basically.
Nice.
God, I should just make everybody journals that they can use. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Anyway. I'll have that thought. And
That's
then
just nice that we can look at it at any time.
I wonder. I'm gonna, you know what? Party notes. Create journal entry. Close it. Go to it. Configure permissions and make everybody owner. Boom. Can anybody open that and edit it?
Party note.
Yeah.
I had an edit sign, but
There's if you go down into, like, the body of it where it's blank, there should be a little, yeah, there you go.
oh, yep.
Cool. Yeah, that's useful. Well done, team. I can make everybody notebooks if you want in here. Would that be useful for anybody, or would that just be something that I spend a minute making and nobody ever uses again?
I mean, I would use it for saving notes because that'd
Yeah,
be
I would
freaking
too.
crazy handy.
Okay.
Yeah, just instead of having it in docs.
Yeah, let me. The only downside is you can't access it when I'm not running the game, but whatever. Okay, Xanthiel. Close. Yaza. Oh god, caps lock. Yaza?
Why so angry?
Just like, Yaza!
Damn it, Yaza. Let's see. So we've got Yaza. I'll put down Qhelec. I will make Willross. I will make Gibbles. And Sebastian. Might as well just do these all right now. And our last party member should be Teresa.
I keep waiting for you to be like, Teddy. I'm like, no, you forgot Teddy.
Nah, I didn't. I don't know what happened to my brother. Something must have happened. Okay, let me real quickly. Xanthiel, permissions, player, Seraph, owner, save. Yaza, configure permissions. No, not all players. I'm going to make your individual notebooks private to you.
Okay.
Just because that seems to make sense to me. Qhelec is Qhelec. And Willross is Siri. And Gibbles is Teddy. And Sebastian is Sebastian. And Teresa is Teresa. Have I missed anybody? I don't think so.
Beep indeed, whoever that is.
Yeah. Okay, y'all have journals that you can write stuff in.
Woohoo.
I should tell Shatner to do that for us in his game, because that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm just dumping all my notes in it.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I'm assuming you can't see any of the other stuff in journal entries besides like control room, gear diagram, party notes, and your thing. Where did party notes go?
It's in the custom handouts now.
Oops, sorry. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Well, I can see all the stuff in the custom handout.
No, that's fine actually, I think. I don't think there's anything in there
I
that
can see all imported stuff too, so all the custom items. Mysterious chest.
Oh, this is all... Oh. Well, let's, That's weird. All players, none. I don't want you to see all of them.
I just went through it all.
I don't know what's in there, so I don't want it to be visible.
It just looks like pictures of things that some were like, oh, okay, that's where it came from, and then some were completely meaningless anyways.
Well, I guess if you can see stuff in here that is not what I've shared with you, don't go looking at it unless you want to spoil stuff, because I don't know. Yeah. Okay, cool. Everybody has notebooks. Great.
I was just clicking on stuff to see if, like, how the permissions, like, oh, I probably shouldn't be clicking through this, just so you know.
Oh my god. Does it have... Edit configure permissions? No change, really? Okay, well, please don't go read floor 6, because that would be really annoying. So let's hide that, and let's edit that folder. God damn it! Why would you default the permissions to fucking? Ugh. Okay.
I don't think I read any of that stuff at all. I just looked at the pictures.
Is this going to be on the test?
No, it's just there's actually I converted the notes from the book to handouts and journal entries so that I don't have
You
to.
could reference them.
So I can I have icons by each room that I can just double click on to open the room now. So I spend less time doing the stupid let me flip between 30 pages. So I guess if you can still see floor 5 or floor 6, I'd recommend not reading that because it'll just tell you how the game works, which seems suboptimal. If you know how it all works, I don't know. I guess we can go through the motions, but
Then we're just Laukin 2.0.
Well,
ouch.
my feelings are.
Yeah, he casts summon summon. Oh, what was this ship? The Vehement, the Vengeance.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, one of them. No, the Vehement was the one I gave to Rio. I think.
I summon a Vehement into the final boss. Well,
Yeah, you can just eat shit and, like, drink 18,000 DPS or some crap.
18,000 damage per round breaks 5th edition.
I mean, to be fair, that ship one-on-one breaks a lot of shit in Eve.
Okay, so we have a control room that I think most people have moved towards or into. Yeah, what do you guys want to do?
You said, I think, before that we can climb on the outside of these things. Would that be true for Xanthiel?
You're a centaur?
Yeah. Like, I don't feel
Can
like
you
she
climb anything?
I
barely,
feel
like, at a penalty, yeah. He climbs 1/4 as well as anyone else.
I feel like the short answer is no, and you also have Qhelec who can fly that has scouted the whole place. Like, I guess if it becomes a... I don't know. Do you have a
Whoa.
burning desire to... Are you okay?
I need that phone anyway.
No, someone dropped something.
Oh.
Yeah, Alex
was
didn't need that
me.
phone anyway, it's fine.
Oh,
Do you have a burning desire to crawl around the outside of these gears right now?
not particularly. I was just curious, like, whether it's possible.
I mean, I'd say technically per the rules, because you're a medium creature, you could get out there. I would probably impose... The DCs would not be forever in your favor.
No.
For trying to do so. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does, because, like, I just can't really imagine in my head a centaur, like, climbing on the outside of a tower and then it not immediately ending in disaster.
Yeah. If you really want to meet Leeroy face to face, that might be a good thing to try.
Hey, maybe Leeroy can, like, swim us the rest of the way. Like, I'm pretty sure that'd be fine.
Yeah.
I think Xanthiel is more of an indoor kitty.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, now it's official. It's canon.
You're not a centaur, you're a sen kitty. Oh god.
Can I cast Prestidigitation to make a laser pointer, and I'll have it run up the wall?
No, because
Oh,
it'll
that's
only
it.
make it halfway up, and then it'll come crashing back down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how cats do it.
And she is a negative modifier to her dex, so you probably won't want the results of that.
All we're saying is you're gonna get a hoof or a paw in the face, and nobody's gonna enjoy that.
We already poked around. There wasn't any, like, hidden doors or anything like that. I imagine Qhelec would have checked. Like,
So I think I know you know what all the bottom of this looks like, and they've found everything you know
yeah,
about.
I found it.
Just to
Cool.
There was also a discussion of the two boats and the cage, and all of that has been, I think, fairly well explained as well as I'm going to explain it. barring further plot developments. So yeah, you can have something to watch when I get this video posted.
Hey.
And I think Lucanu is going to come with you. Well,
Looking to press some buttons.
yeah, so you've got red dial, blue dial, red button, blue button, gold star lever. What is your god, Xanthiel? Unk.
Let's write it down in my notes.
How do you have Unk in both games? Is that true?
No. No, Xanthiel has Unk.
What is
Daji does not. Daji has the one for Dex.
Oh, Gale has Unk. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
After they lost the the strength one onto a very salty
Okay,
bit.
sorry, I'm crossing my streams again. This is why I'm separating the campaigns after this. Because when you get in both games, my brain starts shutting down about what's happened in
My
each
bad.
game. No,
Hey, I try my best to not use cross knowledge or anything like that. Thank you very much.
I agree that you do, but it's just, for me, difficult.
Fair enough.
Anyway. So y'all have the control panel, the diagrams on the wall, the pipes. I think those are all the features of this room. Yeah.
Oh damn! My god says that I'm indecisive and incapable of making decisions. So I'm going to stand there watching the fucking dials and pondering which one to press without actually doing anything useful.
Yeah, Unk does speak to you and notes that it is sure that if you let Unk kind of take control and study these controls, it will be able to figure out how they work.
Oh really? Shit. Okay. I'll let him take control. Her? I think it's a her.
What gender is Unk? I don't know if... Oh, it's female. She. Yes.
Yeah. I think it was a snail.
Yes,
God
Unk is the
thing?
flail snail.
Qhelec's god hasn't said anything about this, right?
I don't think Sir Qhelec has Nang Nang. Yeah, Nang Nang doesn't give a shit. Nang Nang's just like, where's the treasure at?
Perfect.
Can't you smell gold?
Yeah, how does gold
Yeah.
smell? Did I make the Lucanu image a man?
I think so. It looks like a dude with a sword or something.
I gotta
Or
go
staff.
check my source art and figure out, because Lucanu is definitely a woman. Yeah, Yaza, you and Lucanu can have a fierce off someday.
Not surprising.
Who's the fiercest armored combatant? So Xanthiel, you let Unk kind of take control, and you start studying the control panel. This goes on for a while, so I'm gonna say, is anybody else interested in doing anything right now?
Because it's an indecisive god.
I'm just gonna go up next to Xanthiel and kind of just try to shove him a little bit aside and put my arm in front of him and look at everything.
So you're gonna try to
waving your
shove. I mean, that I'd like to see.
Oh, not that I think that anything's gonna happen, but I'm definitely gonna just
I like to
squish
just
my way in
interrupt.
there, even though I don't squish anywhere.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, your character's pretty strong, I believe.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna be like, okay.
Yeah, you're not getting anywhere.
I mean, at this point, you could probably ride
I'm just
Xanthiel, and she wouldn't even notice at this point because Unk has taken control for a while. So
I'm just gonna push I'm gonna twist the red one over to the right and press the red button and see what happens.
okay, let's see here. Red dial. Okay, so let's see here.
You all die.
Yeah,
No,
right.
no.
That didn't sound good.
Poison gas.
Okay, so you... do you turn it left or right?
The dial?
Yeah, the red dial.
Right.
So you turn it right, and nothing seems to happen.
I pressed the red button too.
Pushing the red button, so you're here, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I shot my way in front of Xanthiel.
Okay, so pushing the red button.
Tell that bitch to get out of my way.
Pushing a,
Before even Xanthiel had realized this is what was happening, I just turned it to the right and pressed the red button.
Yep. Okay, so
What have you done?
pushing the red button causes a 6-inch thick wall of iron to drop from the ceiling into the doorway. So we're just gonna...
Now we all starve to death. Perfect.
We're just gonna do that and put a wall there. Any creature in
So
the
speaking of
doorway,
that
no
door
one's
that
in the
you
doorway.
deleted,
Blah 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 blah. Okay, so yeah, the red button just slammed a sheet of iron down across the doorway.
we also don't have any of the other NPCs, so we're potentially going to kill all of them.
Okay, so I'm going to move it back to where it was, press the red, and then move the dial first.
So so the red dial, when you pull it to the side, after you pull it to the side, it snaps back to center.
Oh, okay.
Can I try to push the iron sheet over, or is it still partially embedded in the ceiling or something, and/or floor?
Okay, I'm just gonna push. I'm gonna then put it, since it goes back to center, I'm gonna go push it to the left, and then I'm gonna press the red button again.
Okay, so Xanthiel, you kind of bang and heave against the door. Quote, "It can't be lifted or pried open."
Fair enough.
So it is closed right now.
I have an answer. Right, go on.
Well, I'm gonna do Yaza's bit, and then I'll come back to you. Yaza, as you snap that red dial to the left, you hear that childlike voice say, "What now, Gora?" And then as you slam the red button, nothing happens.
Who's Cora? Is that a god or something? Or?
I just hear that in my head.
Yeah, you hear that directly in your head, Yaza. You just hear you basically hear Leeroy, or the creature you know as Leeroy, say, "What now, Gora?"
He had Leeroy had previously mentioned Gora as well, because he was talking about when this place was first built. With my background, would I know who Gora is?
No.
I don't think I've said anything to anybody.
No, but he has Leeroy has mentioned Gora a few times. No, you would. I don't think there's any way you would know who Gora is. There are ways to know who Gora is. An archaeology check is not one of them. Nor is a history check or whatever. It's not knowledge that you would glean outside the tomb. It's specific to the tomb. If that makes sense.
Okay, well, I'll turn it back to the right and then press the red button again.
Nothing seems to happen when you click to the right, and as you hit the red button, it continues to do nothing. You get the impression that the red button activated the door, but does not deactivate it.
Well, I was just trying everything. All right,
Yeah.
now I move to the blue. Do the same thing. Move blue to the right, and then hit the blue button.
Okay, so the blue dial.
Now we get gas.
So the blue dial, when you turn it, the light under the room configurations, it shifts because you turned it right. It would go to the 4 configuration. And then the blue button activates the cogs. And sadly, I don't think anybody is going to see this, but let's see if this works. Oh, I'm so...
Oh!
Oh, can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit.
Special,
That was cool.
special effects, motherfuckers.
That's super cool.
Man.
And you surmise...
Yeah, we definitely trapped all the NPCs.
You surmise from the sound and the vibrations that just shake through this entire place that you have probably just caused the gears to rotate to configuration 4.
That thing of iron, would that count as raw materials?
Alright, I'm gonna...
I see where you're going with this.
You
I
can-
like where your head's at.
You can...
I'm gonna do the blue dial again and go to the right, hit the blue button.
Blue dial moves it to the next configuration. Okay, so it goes to 5, and you will again hear the sound of the gears turning and can enjoy way too many... I learned JavaScript, guys. I just have to point out, I learned JavaScript to pull this off, and it's still
It's
not
amazing.
perfect, but yeah.
That's sick.
It's pretty damn good though.
Yeah, I love it. It's so cool.
They don't map perfectly, so if we get into weirdness later, we'll
Well, I
deal with
think
it.
right now, because configuration 5, the thing is supposed to be open.
It's yeah,
Like the pathway.
like I said, it turns out the offsets on the gears don't actually work in reality, and we just haven't solved that yet. So, sorry.
No, that's
Imagine
okay. I still think it's really cool, though.
Yeah. But go Tor, if you're watching, I made it happen in game. There you go.
Hey, so Wilros is going to say to the party, I have this neat little trick I can do. I'm going to cast Mage Hand. If we want to try different configurations and not trap ourselves in here, we can move elsewhere and use this guy.
How far does
Yeah.
Mage Hand actually? What's the distance on that? I think it's 30 feet, isn't it?
30 feet, yeah.
So it's 30 feet and it lasts a minute.
It's a cantrip for me, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd have to keep recasting it, and
So I will say, for Mage Hand to work, you're probably going to need line of sight to actually see what you're Mage Handing. Because otherwise Mage Hand would be broken as shit.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
But I
I
like
can use animate. Sorry, go on.
I like the idea. I like the idea.
I don't know if you need line of sight, but like you can only be 30 feet. So what is that like to the end of the hall?
Like you could get into the first cog.
Yeah.
But that's
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, that would allow us to do something with it. I don't know. But I guess
The main challenge right now is the giant iron door that is blocking
Right, I was
me
going
in
to
this
say the
room.
door's still there, right? Even though
Yeah.
we heard
Yes.
That's why I was looking at whether fabricate would count that as raw materials or not.
What I was going to say there is you can certainly try.
I'm
Would
just going to
Xanthiel-
hit the red button again, not move the dial.
Would Xanthiel know, like, whether that would count as raw materials, given that she is a smith?
I mean, it certainly appears to be a raw iron door.
Okay.
So as you hit the red button again, nothing happens.
Well,
Okay.
do we need any particular items made out of iron before I, like, basically turn this into a shit ton of scrap?
No, I was just going to keep trying to hit buttons to see what happened, to see if we could get the door back up.
Oh.
Have you hit the blue button yet?
What?
Did you hit the blue button yet?
Yeah, I heard that's what's been changing the configuration.
Okay.
So from what you can tell, just to, in the interest of laying out what you know, Yaza, or what seems like you know, moving the red dial to the right seemed to telepathically connect you to Leeroy. Moving it to the left didn't seem to have any noticeable effect to you. The blue dial seems to change the light underneath the gear map on the wall. The blue button activates the configuration you've selected on the wall, and the red button, the first time you hit it, slammed the door shut. And then there's also the gold lever.
Oh my god, I forgot about the lever. Okay, I'm gonna hit the lever.
So as you pull the lever, it's currently in the up position. You pull it into the down position, and you hear a sputtering and gurgling from the pipes in the wall.
Oh no, oh god.
And after a moment, they begin pumping that slime into the room.
Qhelec gets up on the roof on the opposite side of the room from where that
Sludge is coming in.
Okay, so
Over
Zantiel's
here
casting.
on the roof.
And I'm gonna move it to the left, the thing to connect me to Leeroy.
okay. Gora, what do you want?
It's not Gora, it's Yaza. And do you happen to know how to get the iron door open?
Oh, hi, Yaza. Sorry, usually Gora's the one that talks to me through this. Sereth, well, how long is the cast time on Fabricate?
Oh, shit, never mind. It's 10 minutes. Fuck. Gosh darn it.
So a couple of things are happening. I'm going to resolve Yaza, like, a couple of lines of dialogue and then explain what happens next. So, yeah, Leeroy says, oh, hi, yeah, the iron door, I'm assuming you hit one of the buttons and it slammed that thing shut?
Yeah, it did.
Usually people either sit in there for a while and then it opens again, or sometimes in between there's screaming and then usually people are dead. So the door opens eventually, I think, on its own. Have you hit other stuff?
Oh yeah, I've changed the cogs and stuff like that and the configurations.
Yeah, I saw the cogs moving. That's cool. You guys did that pretty quick. At this point, that's...
I'm going to...
Well, I gotta... Give me a second.
Okay.
So at this point, that slime is just pouring into the room. I think, Qhelec, you're okay. Where's the chat log?
Do I get an action yet?
Yeah, you get... Yeah, I guess... Yeah, Qhelec or Zanthiel and Will Ross. This slime is filling the floor. What do you guys do?
Well, I did want to cast Fabricate when the door went shut, but I think that's long since gone now. Shit. That's going to take too long to do now.
I'm trying to look how long it takes to cast a spell. I see spell usage.
So it depends on the spell. Usually it says if you open it, they usually say how many actions or a time. So like most of your spells are one action, one reaction. Tiny Hut is a minute, so that's actually like 10 actions.
I cast Rope Trick.
Okay.
One end of the rope rises into the air. Whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground. At the upper end of the rope, an invisible entrance opens to an extra-dimensional space that lasts until the spell ends. The extra-dimensional space can be reached by climbing the top of the rope. You can have as many as 8 medium or small creatures. So, yeah, there's a little extra-dimensional space that if you can climb up into it, potentially will get you away from that.
I'm gonna do that.
Wilros will do that as well.
And it lasts for an hour.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I might be able to figure out the thing.
Who all climbs up into the rope trick?
I think we all do, don't we?
Yeah. Including my chigwa.
Okay. So you all
Fucking chingwa.
kind of, as this slime is approaching on the floor and about to touch all of you, Qhelec casts rope trick. You all climb up through the rope into this interdimensional space. Qhelec, you're expecting to have like a nice dark room up here. And I'm gonna say in the rush to get away from the slime, you're all going. You all appear somewhere that to Qhelec is very surprising, and I have to activate a different map because you guys just tried planar transportation, and this is gonna be fun. And you are.
This might be worse than just dying of slime.
You appear in a room. I didn't think this was going to get
Not a room.
You appear in a room, and I have to find the room, and I do have.
That depends. Is Tommy Wiseau in it?
No, he is not.
Oh,
So I'm loading a map. I hit preload, but I wasn't really anticipating on this happening ever, so I'm not sure how long it's going to take to load. So
The Chamber of Horrors?
Yeah, we just loaded level 4 room 2.
yeah,
that's what I'm loading.
Yep.
And that doesn't sound like a good name for anything. Just saying.
So
I'm stuck at 97% there. That's irritating.
well, it's uploading.
Right.
But some stuff's gonna happen. I'll read the description of this room while everybody's loading in, and as it loads in and you see yourselves, it should make sense. You all arrive in a room filled with rotting corpses. Protruding from one wall is a large green devil's face, its flared nostrils set just above the putrescent mass. A sconce above the face holds a flickering torch. And, Qhelec, I'm going to put you guys all in the middle of the room, because that seems like the most sensible place. I think Qhelec and Zanthiel, you both have incredibly high passive perceptions. Let me just check everybody else.
Mine's incredibly high when it comes to secret doors.
It's still a 17 if it's not secret doors.
That's
So, Qhelec and Zanthiel, you notice in the south.
Wait, we're just back in.
Oh, hold on. There's
We're in the middle of the.
There's duplicate tokens. Let me.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Let me get rid of the extra tokens. Let me just delete all these tokens, because none of them matter. You're not on this floor. So you are all in this little room that is disconnected from anything else on the floor. It just happens to be here. So, okay, Qhelec and Zanthiel, you notice in the southwest corner of this room, there is, underneath the corpses, some large mass kind of shuffling and making crunching sounds. Almost as if something in that corner is eating stuff.
I still can't see my token.
That's because nobody has a token.
Oh, don't I? Oh.
Can you all see where I'm pinging on the map? It's kind of...
Yeah.
I can see the ping, yeah.
Oh, I can see all your tokens. Maybe try reloading because there were duplicate tokens on this map.
Yeah, I'm not going to reload. That takes way too fucking long. I can see the room. I'm good.
You might want to trigger a reload just in case.
Alex is reloading.
Okay, so there's a big devil face on the north side of the room. It is 8 feet tall, and I think anybody who looks at it is going to notice that Its nostrils contain hollow cavities, each one containing a stone lever.
Okay. Can I see any specific traps? If I roll a perception check, like a physical trap?
Yeah, give me the.
I don't see fucking anything.
Yeah, there's two.
Just kidding.
There's 2 levers in the nostrils of this thing.
There's 2 levers, might be 4. Fuck it, who knows?
Yeah, there's
Who's
some.
even looking?
There's some number of levers. Basically, this room itself seems to be, aside from the pile of corpses that you're all standing on top of, and the shifting mass in the bottom corner, and the demon face with the levers in its nose, this room appears to have no entrances or exits. And each of you kind of appeared here as you climbed past the, let's call it the portal of the rope trick.
There it goes.
I'm still trying to load in.
Okay.
Same. It's gonna take a while.
I just got loaded in.
Sorry, I was not anticipating changing maps tonight. My bad. Note to self, this should be a separate small map that is just this room because it would load incredibly faster. That's actually, maybe I'll write that in Discord while this is running. What are you percepting, Yaza?
Well, I just was hoping that anything was better than my passive perception, which, I have a high likelihood of that happening. So I was just seeing, really, I was just wanting to see if there was anything that looked like mechanical, like if we step on or do in this room.
I'll say that for anybody with a passive perception higher than a 10, which I think is everybody in the room.
Higher than a 10? Mine is at 10.
Oof. That's right. Xanthiel is 23. You're fine.
You also rolled a 12, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
So it looks like the mouth of this statue is currently closed, and it looks like there is a seam that probably something causes the mouth of this stone face to open.
I would guess it's pulling one of the levers. Pull the lever, Crunk! Wrong lever! Okay, well, I want to do a different perception roll. Are you fucking kidding me? Just kidding. I don't see anything right now.
I think your dice is... I think it's broken.
Hey, there we go.
That dice is going to dice jail. I just want to throw that out there.
Just go change the artwork on it and see if that makes it better.
That's what I was going to say. We need to change our artwork.
Where's my perception roll? Oof, that was a shit roll too.
I mean, you have a passive 23, so I think the seam in the mouth indicating that it opens is so you've got the 2 levers, the seam in the mouth, corpses, something under the corpses, and an otherwise featureless room.
I was trying to percept the stupid thing under the corpses. Turns out I can't see anything.
Wilrose would like to investigate the head and the levers to see if he can delineate which of the 2 might be the right one.
Yaza thought about doing that, and then she realized she got everybody into this fucking mess.
Yeah, by pulling a bunch of fucking levers without figuring anything out first.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading real quick. Ba-ba-ba. Okay.
I'm gonna use Bardic Inspiration as well.
Sure. Does that add?
Yeah, as a bonus action, a creature. Oh, never mind. A creature other than yourself, so I cannot use that myself. So disregard that 9.
JK.
I'll say that. Well, you got a 15 on your investigation roll. The levers are, for all intents and purposes, identical. Looking at them, the lever in the left nostril shows a bit more signs of wear compared to the lever on the right nostril.
I share that with the party.
So, like, in this pile of corpses, there's like just bodies, like no clothes, no weapons, no nothing, just fucking bodies.
So most of the bones in this room look like they have been. So it's mostly bones at this point. Some of them are in advanced an advanced state of decay. Almost everything in this room looks like it has been chewed on and kind of ground down by something, as if something has probably been eating all of these corpses. So if there are scraps of leather or scraps of cloth, but there's not really any intact remaining items. It's just basically a pile of chewed over corpses in this room.
Okay.
And
well, Qhelec's going to walk up and attempt to pull both levers at the same time.
that's fun. Cool. Why not? We're gonna institute both effects simultaneously is what's gonna happen.
Good luck, everybody.
Oh,
Oh god.
You guys have new characters prepped?
Yep.
Because you might want to start for the next time we play.
Okay. Yeah, this will be fun, and I think that the end of resolving this will be the end of the session tonight, because I have no idea what's about to happen.
Oh my fuck.
Oh god.
So you pull both levers, and two things happen simultaneously. One, the mouth of this creature, or this demon head, grinds open, and there is nothing but pitch blackness inside of it. Anybody with dark vision or greater dark vision, you cannot see past it. It is pure and utter blackness. As that happens, I need everybody in the room to make a dexterity saving throw, as everything in the room starts getting sucked towards that blackness.
Oh, sick. I'm amazing at those.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
Holy shit, that's like my best ever roll.
I give Bardic Inspiration to Yaza.
Really?
Oh god. Oh gosh.
And to
That's a D4, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure we're dead anyway, because it'll have like some stupid DC, but...
I'll give it to Belcheros as well.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Oh, to Belcorge?
Belcors, yeah.
Oh my god, you're so nice. Wow. Okay, so everything in this room gets you are all able to brace. against the sucking force of this. Who's still rolling? You're still rolling that? Yeah.
So the 8 on the roll was for
Yaza.
Yaza, excuse me.
Yeah.
The 10 was for Bellicor.
Yeah, it's okay. Everybody passes. It's not an insanely high DC, so there's that. So everybody passes. But you also see as a bunch of corpses are basically you're all being pelted by corpse parts that are flying in, and you see a large creature kind of appear from under all of the corpses in the corner as you guys all brace against the sucking vacuum pull from this, and the second lever causes the eyes of the stone statue to glow red, filling the entire room, and you are all teleported to the stone face at the beginning of the dungeon. And we will pick up next session. I guess I'll have to load 2 maps. And you guys will be standing next to this big creature that has been pulled out of all these corpses at the beginning of the dungeon, and everybody else will be down below. And I think that is where we will pause it.
Got us out of the room, guys.
Nice.
For the record,
Walk back in and just like boop boop boop, like walk right in there.
for the record, that is another Sphere of Annihilation. So it's a good thing y'all made
As soon as I heard the blackness, I was like, "Oh, don't touch it!"
Oh,
I'll admit the giveaway for me was, and you can't see through it even with greater dark vision. That generally means the only thing that can cause that is Sphere of Annihilation. Because nothing else will do that.
What is? I think I missed that. What is the Sphere of Annihilation?
Well, I'm missing the ends of 2 fingers because I tried to touch one.
Yeah.
They just cease to exist.
Yes, a Sphere of Annihilation is kind of the be-all, end-all of anything that goes in it besides an artifact is basically annihilated. There's no saving throw, there is no anything, it is just pure annihilation.
It's like disintegration, but constant, and anything that touches it forever and way more powerful.
So Spheres of Annihilation are a bad time is the best way to put it. Let me look up Sphere of Annihilation.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, they're not great. You remember when I told you way back, Lyokin, that we weren't going to actually go to Mesro at like level 5 or whatever you guys were at? Did Lyokin go away?
What? No, I'm here.
You remember when we were going to go up to Mesro and I said, let's maybe not go there? It's because it is very easy to encounter an NPC that controls the Sphere of Annihilation.
And they can just move it at will and, just plug it in stick on people.
So, let's see here. The Sphere of Annihilation, it's a 2-foot, the spell, or the legendary item Sphere of Annihilation is a 2-foot diameter black sphere, is a hole in the multiverse. The sphere obliterates all matter it passes through and all matter that passes through it. Artifacts are the exception. Artifacts even, anything else that touches the sphere but isn't wholly engulfed by it takes 4d10 force damage. It's stationary, blah, 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 blah. But most of the Spheres of Annihilation that you guys have encountered in here are actually even bigger than 2 feet. They're mostly just person-sized Spheres of Annihilation. So, yeah. I think you've encountered... This is the second one so far?
That I remember, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. You have solved the Sphere of Annihilation trap through sheer good rolling, and way to get those ones out of your system, man.
For real, dude. That would have been really shitty.
Just blap. And now you know what happens if you try to do anything teleportation-y or extraplanary in the tomb. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like, I still think I prefer this to what I think would have ended up happening. So
with the acid. Like, without time, I think my only other option would have been to animate the door to, like, get up and move.
well, so I don't think that's acid is the thing. I don't think it's gonna burn you. I think it's way worse.
No, that's what I meant. Like, I would be happy to blow a 5th level spell if it meant getting out of that room.
Yeah.
Like, I just really didn't want to do it unless I had no other option.
But now we figured out somehow some of the things work. For example, not pressing the button.
Yeah, let's not press every button immediately next
Well,
time.
not while we're still trapped in the room.
Well,
Yeah,
actually, the lever is what caused the slime.
Sure, but, like, we were still blocked in the room before that. We probably could have, like, you know, removed the door and then started pressing more buttons if we needed to.
We need to have an intervention with Yaza.
Welcome to the game.
After we kill this
I was
big
gonna say, Yaza,
Welcome to the game.
Yaza tends to do this like more often than she probably should, but Yaza doesn't care.
Oh, don't worry, I've set off my share of traps.
Did
I
we-
set off that fucking roller thing.
Did we tell you what happened to Yaza's first character?
No.
It
It
was
was
two
Valnice.
or three.
I think it
sessions
was
in?
the second session.
Second
Yeah.
session.
Decided
Yaza-
to fight a boss on her own.
Yeah.
No, I didn't decide to. I thought I just was like,
Dedication to character.
yeah, it was dedication to character all the way to death.
Yep. She took on a Medusa one-on-one. And that ended poorly.
At like what?
It
fifth or
ended
sixth
exactly
level?
how you would think that would end with a, what was it, level 5 or 6
That's
character
what
at
I
that
think
time?
it was. 5 or 6, I can't remember.
Trying to take on a Medusa by herself. Yeah, it went poorly.
I gotta say, though, I'm still kind of glad you did that. Because I thought thematically it went down really well. As far as character deaths go, I think that one was pretty cool. Just the...
Like, she was dedicated to it, and
Yeah.
I think I like Yaza better. She's more chill.
Yeah. Well, I think what had
But that
happened
makes
is...
Hold on. Yaza's chill? What?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
You
I
you
don't
didn't
care.
You
And I
didn't
live
meet
with her.
Valnice.
you didn't meet Velnice, okay? Like, the worst part was we had come up with so much backstory for Velnice,
Oh
and
my God.
I kind of hit that moment where I was like, are you really doing this? Like, are you really?
He tried to tell me, and I was like, "Yep, that's gonna happen."
I gave her
It's
one or
over.
two tries to get out of it, just to make sure that I wasn't about to be, because this is also the second time we'd ever played together. So I was just like, oh god. And you know, knowing personally that Yaza is, yeah, I was just like, oh god.
that was your introduction to Alex.
Yep, it really was.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh god, this is my friend's, you know, at the time girlfriend, and I'm about to just fucking murder her in Dungeons and Dragons, because I
She
really,
deserved it.
really don't see how this goes another way.
That's
I also,
mean, it was fine.
the best part
it
was
was-
I managed to time the death saving rolls to actually have the final petrification be the thing that killed her. So
Oh yeah.
the
yeah, so she's a statue.
Yeah, that actually. So we could go back and get Valnice, you know, at some point. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but why would we? Am I right, Grim? But why would we?
I mean, we may find a way for Velnice to come back in the campaign, but it probably won't be as a player.
As someone to
character.
kill?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of already what Sarah's doing, so...
So you just need to know in case your character dies. You just FYI, this is the rule that you can't come back as the same class.
Yes, that is one of the rules, is that you have to change your class if you die.
That's fair.
Mostly because of Murakana, or because of Jared, because he was gonna make change the letter on
Another
the
fucking
another
bard.
barbarian, and I was like,
Or,
no,
yeah.
if you die, you have to play something different.
And I was the first one to die, not Murakana.
So it was a
I
warlock.
mean, not for lack of trying. Like, he gets to it mostly because he just has a fuckload of hit points. Like,
Well, we'll see how long that lasts in Pathfinder. I think
he's come close.
He's
He
come,
did nearly get beaten to death by that stone lady after he tried to flirt with her.
He's almost actually died a few times now, because you can't ping pong back from death in Pathfinder the way
He got to like dying 4, I think, and I managed to save him because I used my 5th level spell of Breath of Life.
You used the get out of dying free card.
Yeah, I used both on him because I had no high level spells left. Like everything was gone. Like, God damn it, stop doing this.
Yeah. That was also the water bottle
Stop
fight. I refer to that as the water bottle fight.
Yeah, where because we had no water elemental spell damage, so we just kind of had to fucking improvise, I guess.
Yeah, they fought an enemy that was only weak to water damage.
That sounds miserable.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, and Yaza's been like totally like underplayed until she got into the tomb, and then she got into the tomb, and she's like, I want to know what everything does.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, she needs to stop doing that.
Relax.
She can't stop doing that.
there's a
Can't stop,
button.
won't stop.
Yeah.
So I guess since you haven't played as much, Qhelec and Yaza are the agents of chaos in this.
Yeah, because like Yaza was like underplayed, but she was always doing stuff to manipulate things.
I mean, Qhelec is like dramatically more chill agent of chaos. It's usually just like puts on a necklace of cursed fireball and blows himself up, like that kind of shit. But like,
I'm so
Yaza's
glad.
like actively trying to fuck us all.
I'm just glad that
Well,
you
okay,
did
first
that
of
instead
all-
of Teresa, because that would have just killed Teresa. Just like.
By Yaza not trusting anybody, she has gotten us out of some sketchy situations, like all of those. What were they? Those people who flew and stuff. They were warlocks, weren't they? Or...
The Red Wizards?
Yeah, the Red Wizards.
Well, they're not bad. I work with them in my group.
Yeah, that you just randomly attack that we could have had as an extra group of casters. Yes,
They actually
great
carry
work.
us because we don't have
Fantastic.
arcane casters.
Well,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
all dead now.
No,
The
they're
best-
not all dead. They're just mostly dead.
Yeah, they're mostly dead.
Well, I mean, there is a city of them, so like.
So Yaza trusts no one. She didn't even really trust this party when she met them. Really.
Yeah,
She was
so-
like,
She still doesn't.
For this group, the other group that is playing actually recruited Evlona and Nithla, and they are the main NPCs in the Saturday group. So they've got 2 Red Wizards on their side, which it turns out the
Yeah, good thing we killed them.
it's a good thing we killed them. I think they would have fucked us in here.
I mean, they could. Like, if they actually fought us in Pathfinder, I think they'd have a pretty good chance of killing all of us.
oh my god, they would fucking annihilate you if you just went toe to toe.
You would have no chance.
Yeah. I mean, it depends entirely on how many hit points, because Murakana can... If he can actually hit them, he can do about 200 points of damage in one round. Like, if he's putting his back into it, he could.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but they're
that's
like
assuming that
pro-wizards,
Jared
so that you're
isn't
not
an
gonna hit him.
idiot and actually
Well,
does
yeah.
it a way that makes sense.
Yeah, as opposed to just running at them and just hitting them with basic attacks, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will say,
You're assuming that he knows how his abilities work.
I think the only really intelligent enemies you guys have fought so far. Well, luckily for this group, the Red Wizards, you guys ambushed them, so they did not get a chance to set the conflict up. Because Yaza threw a spear in the back and then yelled at Sebastian not to get in her way, and Sebastian was like, "I'm down for killing these guys," and which was
I'm pretty
hilarious.
sure I just fucking straight one-shot assassinated one of them.
Yeah. But I think, like, yeah, those guys were smart.
I'm pretty sure.
Zalcore was smart, but also Zalcore didn't need to be smart because she was incredibly overpowered to one-on-one you. So, like, that combat would have been balanced if everybody had participated, but
Nobody was going to.
nobody else wanted to mess with that. So that was kind of
I would have.
But you were stoned.
But I was like high on fucking shrooms or some shit.
Yeah, you were high on all the flowers from her garden.
Yeah.
So it's going to become a recurring pattern of you just watching Alex die.
Yeah, actually.
or try to die. She wasn't successful this time. But don't you worry.
So the
She'll
first
try
character I ever
again.
had in D&D was a wizard that I played for 2.5 years and was on the brink of death many a times.
So I
I
think
wonder why. Huh.
I think
It's
I
like
might.
you got transformed into a mouse and no one would even keep track of you because they wanted you to die.
And then I got stuck. And then I was taken hostage and stuff. And I ended up getting what was it? A staff of magi, like one of the most powerful.
Yeah, she had a
staffs in
deck
the
of many
game.
things and pulled how many cards?
5 of them. I pulled 5.
Oh shit.
Who
And then I
gave
got.
you
And then
it?
I had the
And you
option.
somehow didn't like die.
Who
And then I
gave
had the
you
option
that?
to pull an extra card, so then I did.
Who gave you that?
Why? Like
Who
I.
was stupid enough to give you a deck of many things?
No, I just like
Who does this?
when you look at things that can just make the game go completely off the rails. The deck of many things is like it's right up there with giving the players wish. Like do you want to break your
That's
game?
all I wanted as a wizard was a wish. I was like, please give me
Well, and it
that.
was a total homebrew too. So like, they had this whole plan, and then Alex was like, "Yeah, so I'm gonna fuck this up because you gave me a deck of many things."
I
Yeah,
mean,
they gave me the deck of many things, and I said, great, I'm gonna pull 5 cards. And they, like, the DM was like,
You
he
don't
didn't
what?
even know what to do. He was, like, in shock. And I was like,
what?
yeah, let's do it.
This is when you need to know. Like, I would never give Rio or
I
like.
know better.
I know better than to give you bastards that. Like, or if I gave it to you, it's because I expect you to just 52 card pick up the whole damn thing. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah, because you expect it to be the end of the campaign.
I mean, and honestly,
Yeah.
the worst thing that happened to me was, like, first of all, it was like literally you get stripped of everything you own, right? Well, I was already stripped of everything I owned because I was on a stake. So, like, I didn't matter. And then, like, and then I lost 4 points of intelligence. That was pretty horrible being a wizard, because that's, like, your main thing.
Yeah, but then you got a staff of magi.
Yeah, then I got a staff of magic, so it didn't really
So-
matter.
You know, win some, you lose some.
That was awesome. But yeah, I mean, I could have gone into the abyss to have never been seen again. So that was like one of the alternatives.
did the DM's jaw just like hit the floor when you said I'm gonna draw 5 cards?
He like almost didn't want to because he was like, no, like you're gonna break
No,
the
you don't.
game.
You don't want to do that. She's like, yeah, I do. He's like, no. She's like, yeah, I do. No, you don't.
That's like if I gave you a super carrier. I know what's gonna happen next.
Well,
Like,
you've seen what happens when I get a super
exactly.
carrier.
Like, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so to bring it back on rails for a couple seconds, I'm gonna retcon myself and say that this creature failed its save and got annihilated as it got kind of sucked into and then pulled through in a horrible way the mouth of this demon thing because honestly you guys are just gonna kill it, and I don't like stupid combat for no reason. It's a CR5, okay? Like,
Oh, jeez.
if there had
Oh,
been
yeah, we would fuck it up.
if you had triggered the condition, it doesn't matter, it's dead. So, and that's how you absolutely know that that's a sphere of annihilation, because you saw it basically do the alien resurrection thing where the alien gets sucked out through its own body, and that's what happens to this creature. So have that wonderful image in your head. And you'll start the next session. I think the next session is going to be, let me go look at that poll.
I
it's
don't
gonna
think
be-
next week. It didn't look like a lot of people.
I don't think
voted
next
on
week. I think it will be the in-between time. In-between
Not
time.
the before times.
Nah, if only the before times, man. Let me go look at that. Scheduling. So yeah, I think almost everybody said they could be here for the 30th. So I'll assume that we run next, not this coming week, but the week after. And I think the way I'll set that up is I probably will load everybody here. Are you guys planning on trying to get back to where you were?
I mean,
Probably.
as long as the door's open, I guess so, yeah.
Well, so where this sends you, let's go way back in time, is to remember when you entered the tomb and there was the table with all of the pieces of paper and Withers gave his whole speech, and then there was the dark portal that had the shadow that you guys fought, like literally the first intersection of the tomb. That's where this sends you. So it sends you right back to the top of the tomb. So my question would be, are you guys gonna basically like go down the stairwell and try and get back to the gears? Or do you want to do something else?
I imagine we'd just go back to where we were, wouldn't we? Like,
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll load. I will talk a little bit in the recap, and then I have one or two things I want to do, just because you guys are getting sent all the way back. But I'm going to load everybody back into the gear room, just so that I don't have to load
15 floors.
Yeah, all 4 floors of you guys just walking around, because I don't think that that's necessarily exciting or captivating gameplay. So, and it'll take us like 15 minutes of just staring at the monitor. But I guess I'll start with some narrative stuff about how you guys get back at the beginning of next session. And then we'll kind of go from there. Only other point of order, I think everybody here, just so you guys know, I think I asked it in chat, but I don't know who saw it. I am setting up the post-TOA stuff, Tomb of Annihilation stuff, right now. My plan is to probably have like an intermission episode or a week off after we finish the tomb. But so you guys all know, my plan is probably the back half of the campaign is going to be centered out of the city of Waterdeep, which I don't know how much of the lore you guys know about Dungeons and Dragons.
Well,
Shitload.
Alex was
ran
running a
Waterdeep
campaign about it, so
yeah.
Okay, so I'm planning on basing the back half of the campaign out of Waterdeep. Partially because I want to open the game up in a way that I don't think we've had it this whole campaign so far. And I'm gonna have kind of a couple of A plots, but they're probably not gonna be obvious to start with, and I'm gonna do that intentionally. So some of the ideas I'm kicking around is kind of for whoever survives the rest of the tomb. I want to kind of find out like what you guys want out of the second half of the campaign, because by shifting to a big city, we could do politics, we could do owning property, we could do, especially because it's Waterdeep, we could kind of tie to the politics thing like nobles and guilds and stuff like that. So if there's any particular stuff that you're interested in, from like if my character was suddenly put slightly in a place of prominence in a big city, if you have ideas, hit me up and let me know what they are, so that I can start kind of planning for, because I have like 50 million plot hooks I could put into Waterdeep because it's the biggest city in the world, basically. So if you have stuff you want to do, let me know, and I'll see how we can kind of flesh out backstories more and flesh out like plot hooks that I can put in place for you guys to follow or not follow. Just because I want to... The tomb is a dungeon crawl. There may be more dungeons in the future, but I definitely want to also, if people want to roleplay, if people want to get into other aspects of the game, I want to get into that. So, we have probably, I would imagine, a month or so of sessions to get through the tomb, I would imagine. Like we're getting pretty close. So if you have ideas, let me know, because I want to start kind of thinking and percolating on that stuff, so that I can run a game that everybody wants to play with a pretty significant setting change.
We're gonna go to the city. I would actually kind of want to play my other character over. I miss him.
I'll also say straight up, if you want to go out in a blaze of glory, boy howdy will the end of this campaign allow for that. So if you either want to go out in a blaze of glory or you want to find a way to retire the character, you know, there'll be obvious points where you can basically like self-sacrifice if you want to. We can also just like retire your character in the intermission session if necessary.
Qhelec's already on his way to doing all of the above.
Yeah. So I just want to throw this all out here because
What, just because I'm pulling all the levers? Says the
Yeah.
one pulling every fucking lever and pushing every button? Please.
yeah.
I
So
love Yaza.
yeah, those are some of my thoughts. I have a couple of hooks cooked up for some people that are not here. But yeah, and like Will Ross, if you know you're a traveling bard, I think I posted in general a while ago kind of a document for I think I posted a document that is or maybe I posted it in plot. I'll find it and I'll repost it again, but yeah, I'll find it and repost it because everything is kind of all mixed up for me, but and life has been insane the last few weeks, but I'll repost. There's a primer from Dragon Heist on the city of Waterdeep, so I'll repost that for anybody who is not familiar with the lore to give you some. It's like a 10 or 15 page just Volo's thing to Waterdeep. Here it is. I found it. Let me copy this. Copy link. I'll post it in the Tomb Plot channel. Because we don't talk a lot in that one, so it should be pretty easy to find it. But that is kind of a short primer on the city of Waterdeep. So yeah, if you have any ideas, if anybody wants to read that, take a look. Yeah, anyway. Let me know what you want, because I want to make a game full of stuff that people want. And I think we have a good opportunity going into the back half of the campaign to do that. My brain is stopping working. But yeah. Anyway, cool. Thanks all for playing. I thought this
Thanks
was
for running and only trying to kill us a couple of times.
I mean, you did that. Come on.